Hey peeps, how's it going? Hopefully you guys are having a good Saturday. We got a good one for you today, man. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, okay? I don't know where this show is gonna go today because we're fired up. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. The rumors, trade rumors, news that have been flying around with this team, the emergence of Sekou Demboya. There's just so much to be talked about, and a lot of the guys right here are fired up, and they're not gonna be hold back today. So don't come in here with some soft feelings. Don't take it personal. We're here to talk stats and basketball. But without further ado, welcome back, 313 JMO. I'm glad you're feeling better to do the show. How you doing today?
What's good, man? I thank the Lord that I'm feeling better because I ain't never been that sick before in my life, man. Let's get on with the show.
All right. I'm glad to have you back. Bravo, man. Welcome back as well. How you doing today?
Hey, what's up? What's up, guys? I'm doing great. Welcome back to the show. Hey, you guys, I hope you're going to have a good show. Hit the like button whenever you can, please.
Hey, I appreciate the plug for the likes. Ryder, if you want to talk in, you have to hit me up on Instagram or Twitter, and I have to send you the link to join. And then last, but certainly not least, Pistons World. How is it going, man?
What's going on, man? Today's gonna be a great show. Everybody hit that like button. Let's have fun.
All right. I'm glad you guys are here. JMO, do me a favor, please, and name out everybody in the chat. Give us a roll call.
What's good, everybody? We got Adam Barkart in the building. We got LCOP Productions in the building. We got Noble Sports Entertainment in the building. Um, what's good, everybody? We got Joey Kappas in the building. Kawan McCray in the building. Alexander Singletary in the building. Adam Barkart, thanks, my brother, man. What's up, everybody? Make sure you guys like the video, man. Let's get it started. When Drew was talking about people being upset, he was talking about me. I'm tired of stupid people trying to talk basketball with me. So we about to see what's good. Yu-Gi-Oh! Rex was good. Marvin Tober was good. Sanchi R.I.P. was good.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. We appreciate you rocking with us. We got a good one for you today. Real quick before we hop into the topics, this video I'm about to play for you guys is from Shams. I don't know if you guys are Team Sham or Team Woj, but they're very respectable analysts. And this is what he had to say to some of the newer Andre Drummond news.
So far in the Pistons talks to potentially move Andre Drummond, Detroit is believed to be asking teams for one or two first-round picks or young players in exchange. One team I'm told that has made an inquiry are the Knicks. And the Knicks have 7 draft picks over the next 2 years, including 3 first-rounders. They're in no rush to get off any of those draft picks, including those first-round picks. That's why there hasn't been any traction or any imminency to those conversations. And the Pistons would want young players or draft picks in any type of a trade. The Pistons aren't looking to take back long-term salary. So let's say a Julius Randle from the Knicks. That is not believed to be interesting. And for the Knicks, the one player that they made clear around the league that they may hope to retain going into the summer is Marcus Morris. Morris has maintained that he wants to stay a Knick and wants to be a Knick for the foreseeable future. And out of all the one-year players, one-year deals that the Knicks gave out in the offseason, Morris appears to be that one guy that can play on a contending team whenever the Knicks are able to build one. But he's the one guy that's made, through his production and through his leadership, he's made it clear he wants to be a Knick, and it appears the Knicks want him to stay one.
All right. So, again, that is from Shams from Twitter, basically letting us know what the latest news is involving the Detroit Pistons. And the reason he's talking about the Knicks is because they're the latest team to emerge in the Andre Drummond sweepstakes. But before we talk about the Knicks and the Pistons, we're going to talk about something that I made a video on the other day. And reportedly from the Twitter world involving the NBA, the Atlanta Hawks are not willing to package a first-round pick, rather if it's their pick or the Brooklyn pick, and Cam Reddish for Andre. Now, as the Pistons are looking to move Andre, what do they need? First-round draft picks and young talent. Bravo, man. What are your thoughts on Atlanta short balling, low balling, whatever you want to call it, the Detroit Pistons, and not wanting to give up a first and a young player?
Sorry, was the question for me?
Yeah.
I missed the question. Sorry, I was doing some linking. Can you guys just go for it?
I said, what do you think about the Atlanta Hawks lowballing the Pistons, not willing to give up a first-round draft pick and a young player like Cam Reddish?
Well, I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to get the best from their young guys, young team for the future. I don't know if that's the right move, though. I think they might be I mean, I'm gonna say it. They might be making a mistake by not going for Dre because they're not gonna get like a great center like that right away in the next coming few years. Dre is one of the best in the game, best rebounder in the game. He impacts the team. He is a great player. I don't know why they're just gonna think first round pick is gonna make a difference for them. I don't know. And besides, if they don't want to get Dre, they can have the option of not really extending him in the offseason.
Pistons world, man. What's your take on it?
I definitely understand because personally, I think Cam Reddish has a lot of potential. Cam Reddish and the first would be, Cam Reddish, first year player, has potential. So I can understand why they're not giving up the first, but I was really hoping they would because I feel like, I would be sad to see Dre go, but I would love to have Cam Reddish and a first on my team.
No, I probably saved the most. I don't want to say enthusiast, but J-Mo, man, I know you got a lot of thoughts on this one, man. What are your thoughts on the Hawks not willing to package a first-round draft pick? Again, rather if that would be the Brooklyn pick or their own pick and a young player like Cam Reddish. What are your thoughts on the Hawks not willing to give that up for a guy like Andre?
Well, I'm with Pistons Post. I'm very, very high on Cam Reddish. I feel like if they gave us Cam Reddish, we stole him, regardless of what the trade is, just because I think he's going to be a great player. He's just his situation is just, it's just a unique situation. But you got to be a delusional idiot if we think giving me Andre without a first round pick. Are you fucking stupid? Like, what? They're delusional. The Hawks. You have to be crazy if you think we're gonna give you Andre Drummond and we not getting one of your good young players. Are you fucking stupid? I'll say it again. Like, what? Like, if you don't want to give us Cam, give us DeAndre Hunter. But they don't want to do that either. So there is no way we're trading Andre Drummond, an all-star, to you, and we're not getting a first round pick and a young player. You have to be crazy to believe that. And Atlanta, I want to slap them in the face because how dare you try to lowball us like that? To me, it's disrespectful almost. Like, you actually think you can get Dre without giving up something? Are you crazy? I just, like, it pisses me off that they even, like, what? It just pisses me off, to be honest with you, because it's just disrespectful. Like, Andre's going to be an all-star this year. Like, are you fucking dumb?
Averaging career highs across the board. Points, rebounds, assists, blocks, steals. It's all career high. Andre's having the best year of his career right now.
I can't get jiggy. I can't get jiggy with that. I can't.
All right, Will Smith. I'm not defending the Hawks, and I'm with some of you guys in the chat. I don't want to trade Andre Drummond away. I really don't. Andre's my boy. He's been one of my favorite players since I've seen him come in the league. Mainly because I played the center position growing up, and I kind of respect what he did going out there, getting rebounds and dunking the ball. So I just naturally kind of went to him and rooted for him. Now, I don't want to say I get it, but I understand why the Hawks don't want to do it, is because even though Andre is an all-star, he's not a superstar. You look at the league's history in the last couple of years here, Kawhi Leonard was a one-year rental for Toronto. It worked out for him in the long run. They won an NBA championship, but he only stayed there for 1 year. Okay,
I would argue, though, he's not a superstar, but do we really know? Because you put him with Trae Young, we don't know what he could be.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
I wasn't finished.
You put him with an elite point guard like that, you don't know what could happen.
And that's the thing Atlanta's got to consider is do your homework. What have we been saying since we've drafted Andres? He's never had a true point guard. And when they did, they tear their Achilles, or when they're playing well, they hurt their back or roll their ankle and miss several weeks, if not a majority of the year. Andre's two best point guards he's played with have been injury prone. He hasn't played like a guy with Trae Young. Trae Young would be just an absolute perfect fit for Andre Drummond because even though he's putting up big numbers scoring the ball, Trae Young loves to pass the ball. And what better way to pass the ball to the big guy who's a great big man in the pick and roll? I mean, their numbers would just skyrocket for both Trae Young and Andre Drummond. But I think Atlanta's thinking if we give up a first and Cam Reddish and Andre walks, then you're right, J-Mo. We stole him. Rather, if Cam Reddish turns into a great player or not, I really think that's the only thing holding the Atlanta Hawks back from doing that. is they don't know if he would resign with Atlanta. But sometimes that's a gamble you got to take. Do you think they should take
I
that?
mean, but if obviously they don't know if he'll sign, but if I'm Andre Drummond, unless Golden State calls me, why wouldn't I resign with Atlanta? They gonna pay me. I got Trae Young, I got John Collins, I got
Yep.
DeAndre Hunter, I got Shooter, I got Shooter. I got it all. Like that's to me, that's any center would want to be in a situation like that. Like it's just rare to get with a player because like Atlanta, I mean, they're really building something over there. Like that's going to be a young team that's going to be a problem, and Dre could be the centerpiece. And I definitely think they could win a whole lot of games. So, from the Hawks' perspective, the only reason Cam Reddish we stole him because I wouldn't trade Cam Reddish regardless. I would give up. I'm not giving him because that's what I think about him. That's what I think. But you gotta pay to play, man. Like, do you want to make your team better or not? Otherwise, go draft a center next year and hope you get lucky.
And I think if Atlanta pulls this move, and then they have to pull it pretty quick, I think they'll be an 8 seed this year. I think Andre Drummond would be enough to boost them into the playoffs. Let's see, where is Atlanta? They are currently the last team, the last seed in the Eastern Conference. They only have 8 wins. Okay, Brooklyn has 17, so they'd have to go on an incredible run. And now looking at that, I don't think that they'll have enough time to catch up. But don't be surprised if Drummond goes there, if they're the 10th or the 9th seed by the time it's all over with. Because Andre Drummond would be enough to get them some more wins. It's not like it's going to be a completed team or anything yet. It's not like they're going to be competing for a title, but that's a hell of a dynamic duo over there. And it's a win-win for both teams because more than likely if the Hawks don't get in, that draft pick will be a lottery pick. If it's Brooklyn is not a lock to make the playoffs without Kyrie being there, although Spencer Dinwiddie's been playing pretty well. So, I mean, if we get one of those draft picks, there's a high chance that could be a lottery pick. And I don't think Atlanta is going to be moving their first-round pick. I think more than likely it'd be the Brooklyn pick anyway. But it is what it is. I think the Atlanta Hawks may have missed their window of opportunity on getting the Andre Drummond one. The report said that they were more interested in Steven Adams anyway. So we'll see if they go ahead and get
I'm mad before I saw what Noble put on the screen. I was about to say exactly this. Hawks trying to lowball us and the Pistons and finesse them as well, just like he said. They are, man, because you can't – if you don't want to – like, I just don't understand how any trade with Andre Drummond happens and we don't get a young player in the first round. Like, with any team. It just don't make sense.
Especially,
you know why?
Especially Drummond's only 26.
I'm going to say why. Because there's a couple of reasons. Number one, the media are selling Dre very low. It's the media that's hurting us. Number two, the fans also, the Piston fans, we shouldn't be talking shit about Dre. He's one of the best players. Why do we really keep slamming the guy? The guy has worked his ass as a center in our team. And we keep talking bad about him. And now it reflects bad on the media and also reflects bad on the player in the end. We should be talking good about Dre, especially during we should be talking good about Dre, especially during this time, because if you want to trade him, that's the best chance to trade him. We're gonna sell Dre as he's a star player. And that's how we're supposed to do it. Not really talk trash about him, not really have a chance for those media to just give him a bad comments. I mean, he's not a bad player by any means, and the media have already did several times slammed him. Remember Tobias Harris? I'm going to talk about Tobias Harris. When he went to the Clippers, he was on an expiring contract. Well, actually, he was on his last year with a player option at the end of the next year. And basically, he stated, literally said he might be looking for opt-out and trying the market. And what happens next? The Clipper ended up selling Tobias Harris to the Sixers for a couple of first-round picks. Couple. Can't even believe that. Why don't we just get the love like the Clippers did?
Well, there's a couple of things real quick. I'm going to address this one. B-Ball, you're misunderstanding. It's not just Cam Reddish and a first. They would be throwing in Chandler Parsons and Evan Turner or whatever to balance out the salary. The point I was trying to talk to you the other day about it. I just didn't have the time. They just don't want to package those two together. Those guys have to be involved in the trade. You're right. If it was just those two guys, the salary cap wouldn't match up. But they would have to throw in Chandler Parsons or something. They just don't want to trade the first and Cam Reddish. But to your point, for the Clippers, LA is a big market, and Philly is a big market, and they get a lot of national attention outside of Philly and outside of LA. I mean, we watch most of their games when they're on TNT or ESPN, what have you. Plus, Tobias is a solid player. A lot of people were talking nice about Tobias when we had him, but here's how it's going to work, Bravo. When Andre Drummond gets traded, say he's going to get traded to the Knicks, because that's the next topic we'll be talking about here in a couple minutes. Say he goes there, no matter what they give up, they'll be saying Andre is a great player. He's an all-star, and the Knicks got the guy they needed.
Yep.
That's what they'll be saying. But because he's in Detroit right now, we have a terrible record, and we haven't won a playoff game in 10 years or so. We don't get any recognition throughout the league for having good players. It's just how it is. They weren't praising Tobias Harris here. They were saying good things about him, but once he goes to LA on a bigger market, they started talking great about him. He goes to Philly and starts winning some playoff games in Philly. They talk great about him over there. Winning solves everything, but they don't like our players. Even Blake Griffin last year had a great season, one of the best he's ever had, and they barely talked about him throughout the NBA because he came to Detroit. You play for a big market team, and they talk about your players more. I mean, look how much everyone talks about the Caruso guy from the Lakers. I mean, he's just okay, but they love him because he's goofy looking and he plays for the Lakers. It's all about the market and how big your team can sell jerseys and how much people just tune into the team. But you wait and see. Drummond goes to a big market, rather it's New York, Boston, LA, whatever it is, they'll be talking good about Andre for the rest of his career.
Yeah.
That's how it always works. But let's go ahead and transition into this one. As you guys heard from the clip in the beginning of the show, the New York Knicks are the new team reportedly interested in Andre Drummond. And the call that they gave was more than just testing the waters. They were pretty serious about it. And I don't want to brag, but I'm pretty sure I called this one in the offseason that the Knicks were going to be interested in Drummond, rather at the trade deadline or in free agency. The Knicks have a few expiring contracts, Marcus Morris being one of them, several other players down the list too, but they want their guy, and they have a lot of young talent over there that they need to develop. But what do you guys think about the Knicks being interested in Andre Drummond? And who do you want from the Knicks, or what should the Knicks give up? Pistons World, I'll toss this one to you first. What do you want from the Knicks for Andre?
Well, the Knicks have a lot of young talent, so I would either want Frank Ntilikina or Dennis Smith Jr. in first. I mean, like JMO said, you can't. How are you going to trade Andre without getting a first? I don't want Mitchell Robinson because I feel like Mitchell Robinson's like he could be an Andre or less of an Andre, so we've been trading for an Andre in 6 years. Doesn't make any sense. So Frank Ntilikina or Dennis Smith Jr. and first round picks.
Well, I like Robinson. He's a solid
I
player.
disagree with what you said about Mitchell Robinson.
He's a great rim protector
I
and can
love
dunk
if they
the
gave
ball.
us Mitchell Robinson, I would be dancing.
Yeah. So J-Mo, man, take it away. Who are you looking to get from the Knicks if the Knicks are in this race for Andre?
Before who I'm looking to get, I don't even know why the Knicks would do this when they have Mitchell Robinson, to be honest. But regardless of that, if they giving me Mitchell Robinson, I'll take him. But I like Trier. I like Mitchell Robinson. I like Kevin Knox. I like Dennis Smith Jr. I'll take any one of those four. But if I'm getting Mitchell, I kind of want to guard with him. So maybe him and Dennis Smith. But I don't think they're going to give up Kevin Knox. But they've been disrespecting him so much. Got him coming off the bench. And they've just been treating him really wrong in New York. So maybe he needs to change the scenery. Or we could definitely use Kevin Knox. I like Dennis Smith, but I know people like his potential, but I just don't think he's that level player. Now, I think he could average 18 a game and, be a good starter. I don't think he's going to be like a superstar caliber point guard, but he'd be better than our point guard situation. So I ain't going to put. And the thing about Dennis Smith is I don't think he's a point guard. I just think he's short, just like the rest of these point guards, or NBA level short. He's a two guard, Dennis Smith, but because of his height, he has to play the one. He's not really a point guard. He's like a Westbrook type, without the passing game. So that's a slippery slope with Dennis Smith. I would probably rather have Ntilikina, but I just don't trust Ntilikina on the offensive side, and I don't trust him to develop an offensive side. To be honest,
Uh, I like Dennis Smith Jr. I like his potential, and you're right. I think that the Knicks just haven't gave him the opportunity over there that he was having in Dallas, and how much of his mentality has been this tongue twister. How much of his mentality's been messed up because when he was in Dallas, they were going ahead and building the franchise around him. Next year, they draft Luca and they ship him out, and I think that might have had a negative effect on him. I don't know, but the Knicks really haven't done a good job of getting him involved. Bravo, man. If the Knicks are in this
wait,
thing,
before you go to Bravo, the Mavericks
Yeah.
are a trash organization because no, I'm serious. They trade away everyone. They traded away Jason Kidd. They traded away Steve Nash. The Mavericks are trash when it comes to they don't care. They'll just trade any player, even if it's two Hall of Fame. That's just how they are.
bravo, man. What are your takes on this New York Knicks stuff?
I think the New York Knicks are trying to get anything just to save their GM, Steve Mills. He's trying to save his life. I think he's under threat of being fired. So that's why they're trying to make a deal. And then they're looking at it if Dre can offer them something in the future because he's an upgrade over Mitchell Robinson, and he also going to help Mitchell Robinson maybe help him getting more experience through the play. I'm not sure, really. I definitely like the name of the Knicks because I like it more than the Hawks because they seem to be more desperate for a trade, and their team is just being so bad, and they have been losing a lot of games. So they would definitely trying to save their season or next season by getting a Dre in there. Now the question is, what do you get for Dre? For me, I'm gonna just basically say it. Frank Ntilikina. The reason why I say this because he's going to be a French guy, connection well with Sekou Doumbouya. So that will be useful. And they were friends. They played for the France international team before. So if I'm the Pistons, I'm looking at Dennis Smith Jr. or Frank Ntilikina package with Julius Randle. Or if they don't want to give us Randle, give us maybe Bobby Portis and a first-round pick, if possible. Maybe toss in either Knox or Robinson. I don't know if they're going to do that, but I doubt that they will toss in Robinson. So my expectations for the trade is going to be the Julius Randle, Dennis Smith Jr., and maybe a first-round pick. That would be a fair deal for us. We can toss in maybe Alonzo Trier in there. That will be a good player, too, to get from them.
Well, according to Shams, the Pistons aren't looking to take on long, extending contracts, and Julius Randle just signed a new deal over there. So I don't think the Pistons are really actively trying to get Randle off there. I don't think they'd be.
I think they would. I think it's Julius. Sorry, I mean to interrupt. I know they said that on the media, but I think Julius Randle is a good contract. $18 million, good player, 3-year contract. It'll be tough for us to get a contract like this in the free agency. And he's not a bad player at all. I think will be a good thing to have.
There's no way we're getting Julius Randle.
Yeah. Even with that, we got Blake Griffin, who's pretty much you can't move on from Blake because no one wants to trade for him. Well, I probably shouldn't say they don't want to trade for him, but what the Pistons are looking for to rebuild this thing, they're not going to get that from Blake Griffin at this point in time, unless next season he comes back healthy and just absolutely balls out like he did last year.
I expect Blake to come back completely healthy and ball out, and I was up his trade value. But BJ Boogie in the comments is a Knicks fan, and he was saying they're not going to give up Mitchell Robinson and things of that nature. But this is what I asked you, BJ Boogie. Why would y'all want Andre Drummond if you had Mitchell Robinson? It just doesn't make any sense to me. I know Dre is better now, but Mitchell Robinson wasn't in his second or third year. I don't understand why they would want Andre Drummond at all when you have Mitchell Robinson. So to me, them even wanting Andre Drummond is a little bit alarming to me, and has me thinking maybe they have second thoughts about Mitchell Robinson because it just don't make no sense, and it just doesn't make any sense why you would want Andre Drummond when you have Mitchell Robinson.
Hey, let's not overshadow the Knicks here. I mean, I call them the Lions of the NBA because some of the moves that they make are pretty questionable. I mean, you heard all last season they're tanking for Zion. They had 2 supermax deals open to give them to Kyrie and KD, and they decided to go to Brooklyn. So they wasted all their money on power forwards and called it an off season. So like I said, I'm not going to second
So
guess
you
the
basically
Knicks.
saying the Knicks have done stupider things.
Yeah, they're pretty dysfunctional over there, but maybe they'll turn it around. I doubt it, but they're a long way from being good. They got some young
Yeah.
talent they need to develop, and I'd really like to get some of this young talent that they got over there because it sends the message like right now we don't have a superstar in Detroit,
Yes.
but you would have a ton of young talent to pair up with Sekou, with Luke Kennard, and really develop their chemistry together because those two guys and how we develop them from here on out is going to determine if this rebuild was a good or bad decision. And I'm liking from what I'm seeing from both of these guys. We're going to talk about both of them more later on the show, so stay tuned. But if you can get a Robinson, which the Knicks fans said we wouldn't get him, but that's an athletic big, you would have him and Christian Wood at the 4 and the 5. You can put Sekou at the 3 and Luke Kennard at the 2. You're really just missing a young point guard, whether that be Jordan Bone or Dennis Smith Jr. If you throw him in the deal, you would have a lot of young talent that you would need to develop. And Dwayne Casey is supposed to be, put that in quotation marks, to be the guy to develop the young talent. So if we're going to give Dwayne Casey a fair shot of rebuilding this thing, you have to surround him with young talent. And that's not a bad starting 5. That team, it would be unselfish. They would move the ball. You'd be looking at nights where Luke Kennard would go off for 20 plus. Dennis Smith Jr. had a 360 dunk. You'd see a lot of alley-oops and a lot of highlight plays, and they would learn how to play together and play selfishly. I would really like to get some of the young talent from New York. I just think a lot of it is they're just not well coached. They have a terrible front office over there, and they're not really being put in the best position to do well over there.
Yeah, okay, Archangel, you want to come in here? I'm gonna need you to actually listen. I said the Mavericks are a trash organization because of the way that they treat their players. They traded away Steve Nash. They traded away Jason Kidd. So before you come in here talking tough, it's Free Smoke Saturday. I'll let you have it. Stay in your place and learn to read and learn to listen. Noble Sports was talking about getting DeAndre Ayton. I don't think Phoenix would trade DeAndre Ayton, but if Phoenix traded DeAndre Ayton to us, I would cry tears of joy.
Yeah, 100%.
That would be unbelievable. And there's like if they traded him to us, I would literally cry tears of joy. Because DeAndre Ayton a real deal. I don't care what anybody thinks, he's the real deal. But back to the Knicks. I mean, they could do something stupid, but I don't. Dennis Smith is not a point guard. I'm telling y'all, he's a 2 guard. That's why I'm not as high as y'all on him. I'm as high as him as a player, but as my starting point guard.
Well, he's still unproven. I just like his
Some
potential.
people just aren't point guards, Drew. Like he's not.
I get it.
That's why I really want Alonzo Trier. That's the guard that I want. If he's a point guard, he can score. I like him a lot.
Alonzo Trier should be cheap right now because the Knicks is not even playing him. Same thing with Dennis Smith Jr. I mean, the guy is not even on the roster. So I think both. I was looking at Knicks fans page. They gonna really let Dennis Smith Jr. or Trier go easy. They don't really care about them. And they also know, interestingly, they will be interested in getting rid of Julius Randle's contract. That's what I read on the media, and because he's a 3-year contract, will be useful to get off his contract early so that they'll have a cap space in 2021 to sign free agents. So that's kind of part of the interesting deal.
And I think part of it, I'm going to ask you what you got to say at Pistons Post. I said you got something to say, but I think a part of what the Knicks are doing is, like you said, are preparing for the 2021 free agency draft class, because this one there's not too many big names floating around. Like Andre Drummond and Brandon Ingram are really the top. Mike Conley, if you want to throw him in there. It's not like there's too many players out there that are superstars in this one. So I think that the Knicks are really trying to do these trades, like trading away Randle, to get their cap ready for that big offseason. But what do you got for us, Pistons World?
I was just about to say, I heard J-Mo bring it up earlier in the show. It's about Kevin Knox. Like, if we could get Kevin Knox, I would be so happy. Like, if we could get Kevin Knox in first. I don't think they're going to give up Kevin Knox just because he's young and he hasn't proved himself. He's been playing, I think, pretty good this year. But that's really, I just wanted to say, just like Kevin Knox, if we could get him, be amazing.
There's not too many players from the Knicks that I would not be upset with if we got.
I don't know where you're getting these trades from, Noble. You sounded real funny in the comments. Why would the Suns give us 2 first-round picks
Yeah,
and
and
DeAndre
DeAndre
Ayton?
Ayton. Yeah.
That don't even make sense. They might try to trade them straight up, and if they wanted to, I would do it.
We would probably
But
have to give him a first for DeAndre Ayton.
yeah,
Well, I mean, he's a young player. You need a
like Ayton
center.
averaged 18 and 10 his rookie year. Like that dude's for real.
Well, let me ask you guys this. Now that I'm thinking about it, say we move on from Andre. I think it's pretty much inevitable at this point. I don't think the Pistons want to bring him back. Should we bring up Dante Hall if we don't get a good center to begin with? Because really, we don't have a backup center at all. I like Christian Wood, but he's really a 4. If we move on from Andre, so say we get Robinson anyway. Say we get the center. It doesn't have to be him, but say we get a center back in the trade. We still don't have a backup center. Do we bring up Hall afterwards?
Well, I think Chris Wood is a backup center, and Dante Hall, like, how's he? Like, how tall is he?
He's got to be pretty close. He's got to be like 6'10" to 7 foot.
Because I don't think Dante Hall is taller than Christian Wood. I think like he look like he's 6'9", 6'10" at best. He doesn't. To me, I don't think he's a center. I think some people play bigger than they are, and that's what he is.
He is lengthy.
I'm gonna look him up.
I'm curious to see what his wings. Look up his wingspan
I need
too.
to know his height. But I think we need somebody to back up Christian Wood at center. That's the problem.
I just think when he's going to go against guys like JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard, Karl Anthony Towns, and Joel Embiid, he's really at a disadvantage there. He's super athletic. I love Christian Wood, but I think he causes a lot more mismatches at the 4 than he does the 5. And it would be easier for him to guard the 4 than he would be guarding the 5, in my opinion.
But he can play the 5. That's the thing. And you got to remember, Blake Griffin isn't here. We had Christian Wood and Blake Griffin, then it would be much easier for him to play. I mean, obviously, can't nobody defend Joel Embiid. But, like, if you don't have a 7-footer, it's really hard. And they're saying Dante Hall is 6'9". Yeah, that's what I thought. Dante Hall is not a center. So
look up his wingspan for me, Bravo.
Yeah, I'm looking him up. They say he's 6'9", and I'm not sure what the wingspan is. I can't believe he's a 6'9". I thought it was a 6'10" for me. He looks tall for sure, but tall for the G League. That's why.
That measurement was probably without shoes.
Okay. This is it.
No, you about to get this smoke. Hold on.
6'9".
They traded away. Go ahead.
Okay, and he's 7'2" wingspan. He's 203 pounds.
Yeah, 7'2" foot wingspan. That's why he's
tall. That's a good wingspan. But back to D-ball. They traded away Jason Kidd in his second year. He went to the Nets and went to 2 finals 2 years later. So I don't want to hear about the Mavericks, okay? I'm like, stop talking that dumb shit. They traded away Jason Kidd in his second year. What are we talking about?
Well, I thought you were going to go on a little rant there. I wasn't.
No, I don't need to go on a rant. Like, I don't have to say nothing else. Like I said, you traded away Jason Kidd. You picked him over Steve. You picked Steve Nash over Kidd. Then you traded away Kidd, and the man went to 2 finals. Like
Nicholas here says he's a Knicks fan and he wants Cole Anthony.
I would want LaMelo Ball if I was a Knicks fan.
Well, I don't. In the Knicks' defense, I'm a big Melo fan. I think Melo's gonna come in here and he's gonna be better than Lonzo, and he's gonna come in here and he's gonna be shocking some people. But I don't think a lot of now. Maybe Nicholas, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But looking at what happened with LeVar Ball out in LA of hyping him up, which we haven't heard much from LeVar to begin with, but I think a lot of the bigger markets are kind of scared of the Ball brothers. I think that's why there's so much Lonzo hate, because Lonzo, he was built to be a superstar, like to be the next Jason Kidd or Magic Johnson or whatever. People forget how solid Zoe is. He may not be a superstar, but he's a solid player. But I just think a lot of people.
Oh no, he's gonna be everything LeVar said.
I'm pretty sure that's part of the reason people don't like Melo. It's because of LeVar and Lonzo.
Don't like Melo. I think people like Melo just because they don't like Lonzo. And the New York, I don't think New York would pass on LaMelo. Like, he's a 6'9" point guard. But LaMelo does have issues. He has problems with his shooting too. So, but the difference between him and Lonzo is Melo, even though he can't shoot like that, he can still score the ball at 18. Like at 18, Lonzo can't score like Melo. That's the main difference between them now. So I don't think they would pass up on it. I mean, he's 6 miles away. Like, how could you pass up on that?
I'm telling you,
Unless
man,
you get
he's gonna
Anthony
be
Edwards.
nice. He's gonna be a real nice player. Hey, and you know what? If the Pelicans are in the lottery, they might have a shot at getting him. They might have the Ball brother
Well,
connection.
they're not going to be in the lottery though.
Man, they're not in the playoffs, man.
The Pelicans are going to make the playoffs.
You're gonna
They definitely not going to be in the lottery.
you're gonna put some money on that one.
I'll put $10 on it right now.
But
If they stay healthy, if Lonzo and Ingram is healthy, they're making the playoffs. If Zion comes,
I'll take your $10.
okay.
You know
They're only 3 games out of the playoffs, right?
yeah, but dude, the West is so hard. I mean,
Yeah, but the only reason they started.
I didn't
so
realize
bad is
Memphis. I didn't realize Memphis was this good. Memphis is the 8th seed right now. Oh, I shouldn't say they're. I shouldn't say they're good. They only got 17 wins. They're 17 and 22.
The NBA has fallen a bit.
That's pretty.
Like in the East and the West, like the 8th and the 7th seeds, like don't have winning records.
Hey, shout out to CP3, man. He's got OKC as the 7th seed. 6 games above 500. I wish we were 6 games above 500.
I mean, we don't have CP3.
That's true. We had a chance.
I mean,
but no one wanted him.
I mean, Blake, come on. You already know how that was.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, that's I didn't realize the West was that bad this year. I haven't been keeping up with it that much. But that's crazy. That is definitely crazy.
Yeah, they making the playoffs. They're gonna get the eighth winner.
I'm still not betting against San Antonio. They're only a game out. Only because of Greg Popovich. If they didn't have Greg Popovich, I would not be counting them in. But I mean, they got some work to do.
They still got DeFrozen.
That's true. He's a good regular season player though. He just doesn't show up in big games or playoffs. If they go to the playoffs as the 8th seed, they play the Lakers, they get swept. So
Guarantee you they don't get swept.
the Spurs.
Oh, you talking about the Spurs?
Yeah, I'm saying if the Spurs made it, they'd have to play LA and they'd get swept.
Oh my gosh, like that was bad.
No, I personally think if the Pelicans could get in there and play the Lakers in the playoffs, that's national media attention right there. AD versus his former team. The Pelicans made it without Anthony Davis.
They probably be 5 games, but it depends on how Zion looks. Because Lakers haven't played the Pelicans with Zion, so that's the X factor. But that's we have to see how that looks.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much anyone's race over there out west. That's crazy. I didn't realize it was that bad and that close. Let's go ahead and do this one, okay? If we move from Andre, because nothing has been set in stone yet, even though we are looking at offers, say we trade Dre. Bravo, man, what do we do with Derrick Rose? Because they said Derrick Rose will not be traded unless he demands a trade. Do you think the Pistons would activate this or move him or keep him if we trade Drummond? Because we'd be going in a completely different direction. What do we do with D Rose if we trade Dre?
It's tough. I don't know. The guy is playing like an all-star this season. It might not be he already an all-star for me, and he's like scoring in his best in his efficiency game. So would the Pistons trade him? I would be inclined to do it because that's the best time to get a good return for D Rose. And if they're saying on the media, we will not trade him until he says he wants to get out. Okay, just have a discussion with him. Tell D Rose, hey Rose, do you want to go to the Lakers? He's gonna say probably yes. And you can trade him to the Lakers and get Kyle Kuzma in return, maybe Kyle Kuzma and maybe Caruso. Hey, that's a shooting guard, point guard. I mean, I'd be happy with a deal like that.
You know how upset Lakers fan would be if they traded Caruso away for anybody.
I know, but they love D Rose too. D Rose is an MVP and he's a good player. So I think the Piston. And again, if we don't trade him, it's not the baddest thing in the world because he is going to help developing our young guys, and he's still going to help Jordan Bone, Bruce Brown, and even keeping the chemistry for the team and having some sort of like I don't know what's the word, but at least respect for the Detroit Pistons because he's been carrying the Detroit Pistons. I mean, I could see the team holding him for at least another year and try to trade him next season because I think he's still going to be good next season too, and he's still tradable. So the solution is I would probably try to listen to other teams if they really offered us a first-round pick and then a young player if that's possible. If there's no such offer, I would keep him for next season.
Well, welcome to the show, CA3 Sports Talk. How you doing, man?
What's good, man?
Oh, I didn't think you was coming. What's good, bro?
What's up? What's up, Carl?
I've been so busy, man. It's tough, man.
Well, we're gonna throw you right in the fire, man. I'll throw you right in the fire without any warm-up questions or anything like that.
Yeah,
I haven't talked to you in a while, man. What is your whole take on the Andre Drummond situation?
My thing is, I want to keep Andre Drummond, but I just don't. It's just very important. It's almost impossible because like of that Blake Griffin contract, like you can't pay him the money that he wants. I mean, you really have nothing to do but trade him at this point.
Yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. But J-Mo, man, what do we do with Derrick Rose if we move on from Andre?
I'm not trading Derrick Rose. Now, if the Lakers want to give us Kuzma, okay, Kuzma's a young player. You know, he can average 17 points per game. I'll take Kuzma. But other than that, I'm not trading Derrick Rose. Why? He's the best player on the team. He's the only reason we have any chance of making the playoffs. Like, and he, you know, from a Tom McLaurin's perspective, he sells tickets. Like, I don't see any reason to trade Derrick Rose unless we're getting a young player like Kyle Kuzma. And Noble Sports, man, you're wrong. Lonzo had 4 straight 20-point games. He's been consistent. Last 10 games, Lonzo 17, 7, and 7. Are y'all getting this smoke today? I'm not having it. But back to Derrick Rose. I don't understand why you want to get rid of Derrick Rose? Like, what?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't want to trade Derrick Rose either. I mean, what point guards do you have on your team? I mean,
Exactly.
Reggie's always hurt, and he's gonna be gone next
I'm only
week.
trading Derrick Rose because you're
Wow.
going to get a young player that we need. And right now, we need forwards. We've needed forwards for a while. Like, we have Sekou, but, you know, Sekou's a cleaner. He can play smaller power, but him and Kuzma, I kind of like that. But other than that, like, I see no reason to trade Derrick Rose at all, and especially if Derrick Rose don't request a trade. And see, look, Derrick Rose ain't like that, man. He ain't built with that loser mentality. I'm gonna go run on a contender for myself type. Derrick Rose is a real dude, man. He ain't leaving Detroit. He's gonna stay here unless we get rid of him. Straight up, man. I'm not getting rid of Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
Bravo, dude. What are you doing, man? You're on the show. You don't have to censor
Yeah.
the chat.
Noble Sports. He's been consistent this year. I'm trying to tell you, go get this smoke, Noble.
Lonzo started off good, but then he got hurt. He kind of went down, and he's back where he wants to be now.
Last 15 games, bro. Go look it up. Last 15.
I mean,
That's
Lonzo been going crazy recently, man. I saw some highlights. He's been going crazy.
Right, y'all gonna get this smoke. I told y'all Lonzo was the one. Y'all gonna get this smoke. Just like I told y'all about Luke Kennard. Just like I told y'all about Sekou. Y'all gonna get this smoke today.
Lonzo's not one of those guys who's gonna become a superstar right away. It's gonna be a gradual, uprising. Like, he's
3
not
to
gonna
5.
be a superstar right away.
That's what it takes for NBA players, 3 to 5. If you looked at Giannis in year 3, look at Brandon Ingram in year 3. Come on. Brandon Ingram in year 4.
Exactly.
Pistons World, man.
Would any of y'all trade Derrick Rose, though?
I'm gonna ask Pistons World. He's the only one who hasn't got the topic yet. What are you doing with Derrick Rose, man?
I personally wouldn't trade him because if we trade him, we have no point guards on our team. Reggie Jackson's hurt a lot. Even though he did play 82 games last season, he does have that nagging injury. I wouldn't trade him. Unless we get a young superstar like Kyle Kuzma, I would be okay. But except for that, I wouldn't trade him, no.
And you guys have to look at it this way because you guys keep saying we don't have any point guards. If we trade Andre Drummond, we don't know what we would have back in return. So say we trade him to New York and we get Dennis Smith Jr. And even though, J-Mo, you say he's a shooting guard, he does play the point guard position, so he would start there. I think if you trade him, you're going to the young talent. And if you trade him for a Kyle Kuzma or whatever it would be, that's telling me you're bringing up Jordan Bone and giving him an opportunity. Rather, he would be starting or coming off the bench. It really would just depend on what we get for Andre Drummond. is what it really boils down to. So
Yeah, and with Dennis Smith, although I do believe he's a shooting guard, I mean he can learn how to play point guard.
Mhm.
Give him 3 years, he can learn how to play point guard. So that's that. Also, Noble, are the Utah Jazz scrubs? Are the Lakers scrubs? Lonzo gave both of them 20. Better stop. Come on, man.
And if we trade with the Knicks, I would love to get Mitchell Robinson, but I don't think that's possible. But
No, that's not possible.
no, that's not possible.
some of the Knicks fans that were in here earlier, Carl, said that they weren't trading him. So that's from Knicks fans.
They're gonna trade what?
They said they weren't going to trade him.
Oh yeah, he's improved a lot this season too, so they wouldn't trade him.
I like him though, man. He is solid, great rim protector, really athletic, got a good wingspan. He'd be nice.
That's what I said. I don't understand. Why would you want Andre Drummond when you got a player like Mitchell Robinson? It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, according to Nicholas and several other of the Knicks fans, and I don't know if you've seen it, but from their point of view, they want a center, kind of like how we have Derrick Rose, the mentor of the point guards that we don't have any on the roster. They want that center for him to kind of help shape his game or whatever and learn from some of the best centers in the league.
Do you think Andre is the teacher type?
Well, I mean, Andre's good with young people. Like, he'd go over there and kind of be like his big brother, but I don't know if he's going to – like, you can't teach Andre Drummond's game. Yeah, like, Andre, most of what he does is just reaction. Like, you either have it or you don't. And it's hard to teach that.
Yeah, Andre is special, man. Like, he's special when it comes to that rebounding thing.
Yeah.
That's his special gift, Every center has their thing, that's his special gift. So, and like I said, him and Mitchell Robinson they're completely different kinds of centers. Like, he would be better off learning from somebody like Rudy Gobert, because like that's the similar type of center that he is. Like, him and Drummond are completely different kinds.
I mean, yeah, I think Mitchell Robinson more like Rudy Gobert than Andre Drummond.
Well, I mean, you're right, and I think they had the right center there to teach him at DeAndre Jordan, because DeAndre Jordan's a great rim protector. Like, you can teach timing and like technique defensively. Andre gets more steals than he does blocks, so it's a different kind of center altogether. So
yeah,
it would still be pretty nasty if you have to play the Knicks and you go from having to keep Andre off the glass to not being able to score in the paint with Robinson out there coming off the bench. So I mean, it'd be a pretty nasty duo. But
you put them on the court together, it's gonna be a problem.
But you don't got any. You don't got any force space,
problem. But it'd be
it'd be very interesting. I would like to see it.
I mean, the spacing would be horrible though.
Yeah,
it'd be horrible.
I mean, but look, man. Dog, could you imagine have two? Like, of course, nobody wants two starting centers, and I know the spacing would be bad. But could you imagine, like, Andre and Mitchell starting to get like that's great? Like, nobody's gonna be able to score. So
yeah,
like nobody's gonna be able to score, and they're gonna get all the rebounds. The defensive prowess, like, it would be great. And if you surrounded them with some real shooter, like, and a point guard that could facilitate, it might work. I'm not saying, of course, you don't start two centers. That's crazy. But for a 5-minute stretch, I'm telling you, that would be bad, man. Like, that would be bad.
I still like the combination of Trae Young, Collins, and Drummond better though.
Yeah,
that would be a pretty.
Yeah, of course.
Atlanta are dumb. They don't know what they're doing.
But Atlanta don't want to give us Cam Reddish, and I can't blame them because if you look at Cam Reddish numbers, you probably would think he's trash, but Cam got it, and I think they know that, so that's why they don't want to give him up.
There's
give me Cam Reddish.
There's no consistency, bro. With Cam Reddish, no consistency ever.
No,
it's because his role on the team. Like,
it's been like that. It's been like that for a while now. No consistency.
No, he might be a buzz, just like Stanley Johnson 2.0.
There's no consistency. Even when he gets minutes, there's no consistency. I'm sorry. I watch Cam Reddish a lot.
Of course, you and Atlanta, but I just feel like he has to be in a place where he's allowed to fail. Simple as that.
I just don't see Cam Reddish being a good player in this league. He just has no consistency. I don't see that consistent effort ever.
First year, Carl, chill out.
I don't know.
First year.
I've been watching for 2 years. Never seen any consistency.
Well,
Cam Reddish
Luke
come off the
Kennard
bench.
wasn't consistent when he
I
came
was about
in
to
the
say
league.
Cam Reddish come off the bench.
I mean, but I saw Luke Kennard play. I've seen Luke Kennard play in college, and I can't really blame Cam Reddish for his inconsistent play in college because he played with Zion and RJ, but it's
No,
still
I'm asking you. So Cam comes off the bench, right?
he starts.
He starts.
Yes,
Wait, DeAndre Hunter don't start.
DeAndre. No, they start came out the two, bro.
Wait, what's the starting lineup?
They started. I think they started Trey, Cam, DeAndre, John Collins, and they start a center.
That's why he's inconsistent. Why the hell is Cam Reddish at the 2? He's 6'9". What? He's a 3.
Yeah.
He's not a shooting guard. That's why he's not playing out of position. He's 6'9". Why is he? What? Like that's why I was confused. That's why I thought he was coming off the bench.
Oh, never mind.
That don't make sense.
They play John Collins at center. They play small ball. They start Trey Young, Porter, Cam Reddish at the 3, DeAndre Hunter at the 4. They start John Collins at the 5. They play small ball right now.
Yeah, okay, that's why they need Andre Drummond. John Collins is the 6'10" power forward playing center.
Yeah. John Collins not a center.
Exactly.
Well, I don't think they're going to get Andre Drummond anyway. I don't think we'll have to worry about it. So,
No, I think they might go for it in the last minute. That's what they're trying to do.
I mean, I guess because we're really not in a huge hurry to get rid of Andre anyway. I mean, even though all the reports say we'll get it done before the trade deadline, there's no sense to rush this thing. Take your time with it and get the best deal possible if you have to do it. Like I said, I don't want to trade Andre. I wish we could keep him.
I don't want
But if you are going to trade him, take your time because we're kind of in the middle of the water right now. Like we're just good enough in the dumpster fire of the Eastern Conference, which I shouldn't say good because we're 10 or 11 games below 500, but we're only a few games out of the playoffs, which is probably the saddest part about all of it. And we're also only a few games away from being a really good lottery team. So you're kind of treading water right here and just kind of staying afloat. I really shouldn't say staying afloat because you're not in the playoffs, but you're in a position right now where you can either try to trade for talent to make the playoffs or trade away your talent and kind of not make the playoffs. I don't say tank because tanking doesn't work, but they're in a weird position. Like, so don't if you're trading Andre, don't rush it. I don't care where we send Andre, just get the best return you possibly can for it. And if the Hawks aren't willing to give up first and young talent for him, I don't care.
Leave him alone. Yeah, exactly. You know, I don't understand why the Pistons just do this. Let him opt out, test the market, and we're still going to give him more. I think the maximum he's going to get in the free agency is probably 25, 28 million. He's not going to get more. I mean, I bet you. There's no way that the Charlotte Hornets, the only team who can offer him maybe 28, maybe, I would assume maybe the Charlotte Hornets, but I think, or the Atlanta Hawks, I doubt they're going to offer him that money because they're going to still think, oh, he is overpaid. He doesn't worth this 25, 28 million. And in the end, we can still come back to him and tell him, hey, Dre, they offered you this. We can offer you a little bit lower, 25. We offer you a 4-year deal, and we can give you like some more incentives in here. I think I could see the Pistons do like what the Houston Rockets did to Clint Capella. Capella, if you guys remember, he was in his last year, and he had the option of getting a max contract. The Rockets did wait on him, and they did not offer him $145 million in max contract. They waited on him, and then I offered him $90 million contract in the end. I don't see the Pistons. Why can't they just do this? It's just we're supposed to sell this.
For Andre's benefit, it's smart on him to opt out because he is one of the top tier free agents this summer. Right. So people will be looking kind of desperate at this. Like, we have to do something. Like, we're close. So the teams right now that are kind of in the middle of the pack, somewhere between like the 4th or 6th seed in the East and the West, are looking at like, we have to get better. We have to add something. And when Andre's one of the top players available out there, you'd be like, all right, this might be a shorter term deal, but we're going to go ahead and offer all of our free agent money into this guy and bring him in here. Whereas Clint Capella, he's not an all-star anyway. Andre's better than Clint Capella to begin with, but he wasn't a top free agent at the time. Like, there weren't teams like, man, he's going to be the guy coming here and make this team better. There were several players better than Clint Capella. There's not too many players available in this offseason better than Andre Drummond. So for Andre, he's doing the right thing for himself and getting the bag, securing the bag. It's a different situation.
Hey guys, man, make sure you guys like that video, man. We need to get them likes up, man. I know y'all in here with us. Make sure you guys like the video as you listening to us, because that's what we need. And when it comes to Drummond, you have to trade him if you gonna opt out, because why would you let him opt out and then come back to us like, well, give me a super max and I'll stay. I'm not paying Drummond a super max. He can get a max, but he's not getting a super max. And the super max is the thing that he can get from us that will make him stay with us. So I'm not about to let him opt out. You have to move him, because if he opts out, now we pay him a super max. Time goers, it is what it is. But I don't think we're doing that. But like, it's either pay Drummond a super max or let him walk for free. That's why you have to trade.
I mean, you can't do that with that contract. You're not gonna be able to do anything.
But do you think let's say if he opts out, do you think he's going to get a supermax 30 plus mil? I don't think so.
I mean, there are some.
But that's the only reason he would stay with the Pistons.
I mean,
because he opts out and we're not going to give him a supermax, we'll just go to another team.
I mean, it depends how desperate a team is. Like, I think a team like the Knicks would do it.
And that's pretty much the only team that would do it.
It's teams out there that you got to remember. Drummond is literally, after Jokic and Embiid and maybe Rudy Gobert, who's really a better center than Andre Drummond? Nobody. So you talking about a top four, if you want to throw Cat in there, a top 5 center in the league. You actually think a team is not going to up on that? Just imagine the Lakers. We ain't thinking about them right now, but let's say they don't win a chip. Oh, Brown, like, oh yeah, go get me Andre and AD, it's a wrap. And it would be. So a team will pay a max for Andre Drummond if he's on the market. He'd go to a different team and get paid. But the only reason that he wouldn't go to a different team is because we would offer him super max.
And I think that's a good point you made, Jamo, is people will be looking at Andre. So look at, I'm not saying he's in Golden State, but he'd fit beautifully in Golden State because we don't run plays for Andre Drummond. Dwayne Casey has said that. He gets all of his buckets on his own off of second chance points or transition, whatever it may be. He's averaging 18 points right now with 0 plays drawn up for him. You go somewhere that's already got a dynamic duo or whatever it would be, and you can average 18 without having to get any touches because his rebound numbers aren't going to go down. That's what he does. And I think teams that are trying to compete are looking at like Andre, like, we don't even have to run a play for him. He's going to get all the buckets by himself, while your two people, if it was Steph and Clay, they get all their shots off. Still, they get all their touches. They're happy. Andre gets his boards and his dunks and his payday, and they're winning ball games. I think some teams will be looking at that like, okay, we got something here. We got a guy that we can involve in the big three without actually having to involve him offensively.
All right, man. Y'all Pistons fans better stop talking greasy about Luke Kennard in the comment section, man. This dude just said Speed giving Luke Kennard a run for his money. How many games have we won without Luke Kennard? What, 2? Or 1? Ever since Luke left, we ain't had a chance. Y'all better chill out.
What are y'all talking about?
Like, Luke Kennard is that dude. He is a baller. Luke Kennard is a young J.J. Redick with a better upside. Y'all need to put some respect on his name. The man is averaging 16, shooting 40% from 3. Like, what are we talking about? Y'all don't know. Y'all really don't know the game of basketball, and y'all don't know great players when y'all see it, and it's obvious. So I don't know what's wrong with some of y'all Pistons fans. This man said Speed is giving Luke a run for his money, and Luke is untouchable. You don't get rid of a young J.J. Redick like Luke Kennard unless you're getting a superstar like a Russell Westbrook that we talked about, back in the summertime.
No, I don't. You shouldn't trade Luke Kennard.
You're not trading Luke Kennard. Like, you're not trading him for an all-star. You're not trading him unless you're getting a superstar.
Tone Capone says Kennard hasn't played 4 quarters yet this season. I don't know what that means.
What?
I don't know.
So he wasn't playing.
Yes.
Then Kennard, so he wasn't playing 4 quarters when he torched Indiana for 27. I got you. Y'all need to stop, man. Learn the game. For real.
Where is all this Kennard hate coming from? I don't get
Yeah,
it.
for real.
These fans are stupid and they don't know the game of basketball. I'm sorry. Like, y'all don't know the game of basketball. Luke Kennard doesn't have a weakness in his offensive game. He can score from anywhere at any level. How many players can you say
Inside
that?
mid-range 3-point.
Like, what are we talking about? he's a dynamic. He's the best shooter in his draft class, like he was heralded as. He's averaging 16 a game. I don't understand what's wrong with these people.
Kennard only disappears because of Blake Ball.
Blake Ball, and he was hurt. Kennard was having injuries. Kennard then started getting it. He was very consistent, and then he had that knee injury, and he was playing through it, and it caused him to be inconsistent. He's out now. When he comes back, he's going to be very consistent. And if you averaging 16 a game, what are we talking about?
Well, he might when he comes back, he might get off to a slow start because he's going to need to get his legs back underneath him because you need your legs to shoot. So I hope he comes back and he's going to light it up right away because he's going to get a lot of touches, but it might take him a minute to shake the rust off. But once he gets it going, he's consistent. He is very consistent. Look at the games where Blake Griffin was out. Luke Kennard was putting up almost 18 points a game.
Yeah, he was averaging 19. Yeah. He was averaging 19.
Yeah, honestly,
Luke Kennard and Derrick Rose was working people.
I mean, honestly, the reason why Luke Kennard's production went down a little bit it was just because Blake came back. When Blake came back, his production went down a little bit. But he was balling like crazy, out of control before Blake came back.
Luke's gonna be a bad man. You just wait and watch.
Yeah, man. Like Luke Kennard is special, and he's going to be an all-star. Like, and when he becomes one, I'm gonna give y'all all that free smoke. Y'all tried to tell me Seiko wasn't that dude too, huh?
Hey,
okay. Y'all get all that free smoke.
You guys remember when Mark Jackson was in Golden State and they're like, "Oh, Steph and Clay, they're jump shooters. They can't win a thing."
Oh yeah.
And then they start winning championships. You're like, they got KD on that team. What happened to all the hate then? You know, I mean, now they're too good to get a player like KD. But
I'm not gonna lie, Seiko's kind of.
I guarantee you, if Luke Kennard, we called the Lakers was like, give us Kuzma, they take a Luke Kennard. Lakers winning a championship, and Luke is like a star.
That would be terrible.
Could you put Luke Kennard with LeBron James? What y'all think gonna happen? Like, stop talking that dumb stuff, guys. Come on, man.
No, I would consider trading Luke for a guy like a point guard, like DeAndre Fox, Lonzo Ball. I do that, maybe.
De'Aaron Fox, Lonzo Ball, but they ain't about to trade Lonzo or De'Aaron Fox.
I don't think so. No, so I wouldn't really do it. And
the only thing I trade Luke for is a superstar or, like you said, a point guard. But that ain't no guards that's gonna get traded.
But there's no superstar available. That's the thing. There's no sense of trading Luke Kennard.
I mean,
there was one available, but we didn't want to take Westbrook. But I'm gonna leave it alone.
Yeah.
But regarding Sekou though, like I've been watching a little bit. I've been busy though, but I'm watching a little bit like of his highlights and stuff. I didn't know he could shoot like this though. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't expect him to shoot like this right away. Oh,
you know he could shoot like this when he made 19 straight threes in his pro day.
Yeah,
I knew. I expected all of this, man. Drew, let's move on to the Sekou.
Let's move to Sekou, yeah.
All right. So Sekou has been starting for us since Blake Griffin has been out. Blake Griffin likely out for the season. He did want to go ahead and had that knee surgery, which he should have done that a long time ago. But Sekou's been playing all right. Now, I think a lot of what's been going on. Hey, shout out to D-Lock. I like this. I'm gonna put this on the screen.
That's what I'm talking about.
He is calling it Sekou Mania, and that is. It caught my eye, and I fell in love with that because Sekou Mania is running wild in Detroit. But you look at Sekou, and he's maybe not putting up big blockbuster numbers, but a lot of people forget he's only 19. And there's going to be some hiccups with Sekou. You look at the last game against Cleveland, he got in foul trouble and missed the majority of that game. And then Dwayne Casey didn't put him back in late in the fourth quarter and in overtime. We'll talk about that maybe later. But what have you guys thought about Sekou as of late? Bravo, man. Take it away. What have you been surprised with Sekou? Are you liking Sekou? What does he need to work on? Just talk about Sekou.
Man, I'm very impressed by Sekou Doumbouya. I was very, very high on him when we first actually drafted him, and I was tracking this guy a long time ago, like 3 months before the draft time. I was telling guys in here, I was so excited for him because I know he's got a huge potential. You know, we shouldn't just really immediately jump the guns on guy. He's just coming out of the G League. He's starting to learn the game. Take it easy on him. I'm very, very happy we got him because the guy, you can see he can shoot it. He can dribble it and dunk it. Like Dr. Doom dunk on Tristan Thompson, career finisher. He just finished his career, in my opinion. The guy is runs and track I mean, runs and track like a gazelle. He's really like, he can block. I mean, what else do you want? Only a couple of things you want from Sekou. Maybe just bulk up in the offseason and just learn how to crossover, dribble. That'll be just a Pascal Siakam 2.0, if not even better.
Real quick, Benjamin Foe. You have to run pick and rolls with Drummond, man, because he can't shoot. You run the pick for him, and that's the only play you need to run for him. It's not that hard. It's not you have to run a super complicated play for him. JMO, man, I know you're a big Sekou fan, man. Just I need to say more. Take it away.
Oh no, man! I have to tell y'all the story, so I'll never forget. We were talking about draft prospect, and then Bravo posted in the chat, yeah, it's this guy named Sekou Demboya. You know, we should look at him. And this is exactly what I told Bravo. I literally said, Bravo, if you don't get the fuck on with all these foreign fucking players, man, I don't give a fuck about no Sekou. I literally said that to Bravo in the chat. And then after that, I literally looked up, all right, let me go look at this Sekou Demboya guy. And literally looked him up and looked at his highlights. I'm like, he actually look okay. And then, you know, it got further into the process. So Bravo was there first, and he was right. This kid is special. And with Sekou, I was just looking. I wanted to bring him up, you know, a little bit earlier. Okay, he could be in the G League for a month. I'm not gonna trip, but I'm just looking at skill set. I'm looking at dribbling, shooting, defense, all of that stuff. He's a good defender. He can dribble. He can shoot. He can block shots. He has a nice motor. Like, he just looks like a great young player. 19 years old, and with the way that the work ethic, I know it. 3 years from now, yes, I said 3. Sekou is going to be, you're not going to be able to guard him. Straight up, one-on-one, he going to sauce you. He going to pull up. And he was a good defensive player when over in Europe. And when we saw, you know, that first summer league game, he was horrible on defense. But I still never lost faith on him being able to be a good defensive player. And I think he's
doing good on Kevin Love, man. Shout out to Sekou for guarding Kevin Love.
He was guarding LeBron James. He was guarding Paul George and Kawhi, and they wasn't scoring on him. This was his first game starting, and Kawhi and Paul George was not scoring on Sekou. And I'm like, that's impressive. And people, I know we keep talking about how he got to bulk up, but Sekou is 6'9", 240. I'll say it again. He's 6'9", 240. This kid is not small. This is a big kid. Like, how many 19-year-olds are 240 pounds, not named Zion Williams? Like, so I think this kid is special, and he's going to only get better. Throw him out into the fire. He'll have some terrible games. He'll have some great games. I don't care about his averages. All I want him to do is get NBA reps and NBA time to continue to improve his game, because I've said it before when we drafted him. This is the guy that we're going to build around. This is going to be our star.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that surprised me with Sekou is, for one, his defense is better than I thought it was going to be. But every time he shoots the ball, man, it looks like it's going in. He's got a beautiful jump shot, absolutely beautiful. And when you can shoot like that, and you can pump fake the dunk. Kevin Love overplayed the 3-ball because he was hitting the 3. And then he just exploded at the rim with, I'm calling it the leapfrog dunk, because he has some serious hops. It's truly impressive. He's got all the skill sets to be great, but it's going to be on him to put the work in, which, if you guys watch his pre-draft workouts, this guy is putting the work in the offseason. You can believe that. But it's on to him and Dwayne Casey to develop them, because they got something special here, man.
I just feel like, you know, some, not all, but some of these foreign players are just a little bit different. And I remember when people were tripping when I called Sekou a prodigy, but I'm like, you started playing basketball at 14, and you're in the NBA in 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's the definition of a prodigy.
Mm-hmm.
But and you know, I think he's gonna just keep working at it. And Dr. Doom, I think that should be his nickname, and I think it will be his nickname. They're gonna call him Dr. I mean, look, I'm literally sick watching the game because I love basketball too. I'm literally like dog sick, and I'm just watching, and I'm watching the air. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh! Because he dunked all over Trish Thompson's face. And, you know, most people thought like something was wrong with me. I'm like, no, I just watched the murder. I mean, he dunked on his soul. He's a rookie.
Hey, J-Mo, I had to steal your idea. I had to put him as my wallpaper as well, bro. I had to steal your idea, bro.
Oh, yeah, man, I had to change it. But
Hey, Marvin, we'll talk
it's
about that here in a
different
minute.
now.
Thanks for that. But we'll mention that here in a minute after we're done with Sekou. But we got to talk about Sekou.
Oh yeah, Pistons will talk.
Go ahead, CA3 man. What are your thoughts on
Pistons
Sekou?
world wants to talk. Go talk, bro.
Oh, thanks. I just seen this man in comments. I got respect for Sekou, but he's overrated. How you about to call this man overrated? He's 19. He has played what, 4 NBA games? How is he over? He's played 4 games. I will accept no Sekou slander. He's 19. I have no doubt in my mind that he will be a star. Sekou is not. How are you about to call him overrated?
I don't understand.
Because Pistons fans are idiots.
Yeah, obviously.
That's how. Like, no, we know. Look. Personally, to me, I ain't accepting no Lonzo Ball slander. I'm not accepting no Luke Kennard slander, and I'm not accepting no Seiko slander.
Thank you.
Let y'all know. Like, it's not gonna happen. Not here. And why? Because we know great players. Because we know basketball. How is Seiko overrated? That's just what? Like,
He's
I'm
19.
almost confused.
I mean,
What?
the thing about Sekou is that he literally has everything. Like,
I call him the Swiss Army knife. I mean, he's got everything.
I mean, I'm seeing like some of the plays he would make. I think he can work on his foul issues. That's about it. That's my only problem I've had so far watching him. And I saw some of the blocks he had. He had one block against Golden State where he stared down the crowd. That was crazy.
He's gonna be like the next Tayshaun Prince with all these chase down blocks he's gonna have.
Exactly.
Man, I think his defensive prowess, and this is the scariest thing about Sekou is we don't know if he's done growing. Like, this dude might end up 6'11" or even 7 feet, handling the ball and dribbling like that. Now, I ain't saying he's gonna be a KD. Come on, that's crazy talk. But we don't know if he done growing yet. Like, man, this man get 2 inches, man, it's gonna be bad. I'm telling you.
I think the only thing that's stopping him from being great right now and potentially going to the Rookie of the Year candidate is I think he needs to really become more of a point forward. Rather, if he's going to spend the majority of his time in the NBA at the 3 or the 4 position, I think he needs to develop where he gets the rebound and pushes it in transition and being able to play make. I think that's going to be the next step of his game because right now, all he is doing is taking what Dwayne Casey's given him. He's not trying to do too much. He's playing within himself, and he just looks comfortable out there. So that's the best thing I like to see is
ball handling. He needs to learn
I
ball
think the
handling.
people talking about Sekou and Giannis. I don't know what.
When did we ever call him
was.
Giannis?
Look. I don't know what the conversation was, but I will say at the same age, he is better than Giannis. Is he better than Giannis? Hell no. Will he ever be Giannis? No. Can't nobody. Giannis is the most athletic player besides LeBron James, probably in NBA history. Like, come on.
Yeah.
But at 19, Giannis, he was not as good as Sekou is. And I'm not taking nothing away from Giannis because everyone knows how much I love Giannis. But let's not do comparisons like that. Let Sekou be Sekou. Let him be his own player, man, and grow.
Mm-hmm.
What you got for us, Pistons World?
Oh no, I was just gonna say about this Nicholas guy telling like nobody compared him to Giannis or like I don't know what he's talking about.
There's nobody like Giannis, and we're probably not gonna ever get somebody like Giannis. So we wouldn't compare anybody to Giannis.
Yeah, I mean Giannis. It took Giannis a couple years to
let me
get
read
his
this.
from too. Go for it, Jamo.
Yeah, man. Let me read this from Push Play because he's just explaining how Pistons fans are stupid. Fun fact about Pistons fans, and I remember this too, even though I was young. Before 2004, many Pistons fans trashed Ben Wallace and Chauncey Billups. Yeah, and they didn't like when we got Rasheed Wallace either. I remember this. So I don't know what's wrong with the Pistons fan base when it comes to basketball, but y'all need help.
Well, part of the reason that I don't think they really hated Ben Wallace, they did say some pretty mean things, but they traded a player, Grant Hill, for Ben Wallace, who Ben Wallace was coming off of the bench, and he really wasn't Ben Wallace yet. He was a good player to have coming off your bench, but when he came to Detroit, he changed the culture. It was something unbelievable. It probably will never happen again in the NBA, but I think a majority of why that team was so hated early on is because they traded Grant Hill away, who was a superstar. He was on his way to being one of the faces of the league, and people loved Grant. You still walk around, you see the teal Grant Hill jerseys everywhere. I got one hanging up right behind me.
I love Grant, but I wasn't as upset when he left. I wasn't that emotional about it. I was just like, I'm gonna just fall back. That's what I literally said because I didn't know what was going on and why they had did that. And I was just like, I'm gonna just fall back. My older people were just telling me like, just fall back and just watch. The Pistons are trying to do something. I didn't know they were going to win a championship, but I can understand that a little bit.
Yeah, they want to be right all the time. I think and like you see it. You guys in the chat, you guys can go look at the comments in my videos. I see it almost every single day. Is a lot of people think with their emotions when it comes to basketball. They don't always use statistics or even watch the game, which I'm not saying all you guys do. And you don't have to agree with this all the time to be right or wrong. But it's like you guys attack the players because you don't like them, and you don't watch them. Like people have said Luke Kennard's injury prone. What?
Yeah.
Not like
Huh?
Blake Griffin. I know this is actual comments
Where
that
did where
I
did he?
that's
Drew,
his
you need
actual
to start
comment that I
tipping
had
me
to
at
read.
these guys.
I had to roll past. I'm like, I can't believe I just saw that. I mean, go on Twitter. There's so many people who don't want Luke Kennard here because of this knee injury.
What?
It's
What?
no structural damage to his knee
Oh
at
my
all.
God.
Like he's gonna be fine. And for the people who are saying they wanted the tank, I figured they'd be happy Luke Kennard's out because we have less chance to win a game when Luke Kennard's not here. It's like you can't make this fan base happy with no matter what we're doing.
Mhm.
And now that we want to trade Andre Drummond, well, we're not going to get enough for him. Well, you wanted to trade Andre 5 years ago. Why are you upset that we're finally going to do it? And because you think he's trash, that we deserve 5 first-round picks for him. If you think he's trash, why would we get that? It's like they don't make a whole lot of sense all the time. If you get what I'm trying to say.
I remember when I was talking to Man Beach. Shout out to Man Beach. And I was telling him the Pistons fans are worse than the Lions fans. And I said, because the Lions fans have an excuse. They've never won. So they're going to go down the rabbit hole. But the Pistons fans, it ain't no excuse. I know we've been bad for a while, but we are a story franchise with 3 championships. We made Michael Jordan. He said it himself. So I just don't understand, like, hating on Sekou. It just doesn't make any sense. I just don't get this.
I get people hating on Andre, even though I don't agree with it.
I get that too.
I get people hating on Blake Griffin, even though I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
I get
Facts.
people hating on Reggie, even though I don't agree with all of it. I agree with some of it. I don't agree with all of it. But Luke Kennard and Sekou, man, they're the young guys for the future. I don't get all the hate. There's going to be hiccups with them because they're young. This is what Luke Kennard's 3rd year, 4th year, whatever it is.
3.
3rd year. This is Sekou's 1st year. He's 19. They're going to have some hiccups. It's called player development.
Yeah.
They're not going to come out here and drop 30 points every night. They're not all-stars yet. They're working to get there. And Luke Kennard may never get there. Sekou may never get there. But you're not going to know unless you throw them out there. They're going to make mistakes. They're not always going to succeed. They're going to have failures. But it's how you learn from those mistakes early on in your career. So Luke Kennard's first 2 years was super inconsistent. But towards the end of last year and in the playoffs, he had more confidence in himself. You've seen some player development here. And now it's still a little bit of a factor, but he's got more confidence in himself. And as a shooter, you need to have confidence. It's just player development. It's how it works. Not everyone comes in the league like a LeBron James and dominates right away. That's super rare. It's super rare. It takes time with the young guys, especially be super patient with Sekou because he's not even coming out of college. He's coming out of a different country on the other side of the world. Be patient. But that's a lot of it. Pistons fans aren't patient.
Yeah.
And you can't make moves if you're not patient because you're only making moves for the now and not for the future.
We said this. Give him at least a couple of 2 to 3 years. When he's 22, he'll be probably more ready, slightly better. He's not ready yet 100%, but you see him how he's doing right now. He's a great guy. So, I mean, I keep playing him, but just don't judge him until like he turns like a Bruce Brown's age, maybe. Bruce Brown is 23. Give him some time.
That's why I was saying, like in 2 years, in 3 years. That's why I said what I said. 2 or 3 years, he's gonna be nasty, man. Because I know, like I said, his work ethic. This kid is only gonna get better. He gonna work on that layup pack. Like this kid's gonna be like. injuries is the only thing that can stop
Yeah.
players like Faith. Like that kid is gonna be special, and it's
Mhm.
nothing that's gonna stop him from being special. And like, and the thing that's just the worst about this is when he does become this great player, Pistons gonna be riding on the bandwagon like they never hated. It kind of
Mhm.
reminds me of Derrick Rose. Remember, I didn't want Derrick Rose because I didn't want him to take away minutes from some of the young guards. But lo and behold, we don't got no guards. And I remember when he got here, I was like, I knew I said he was gonna average 19 a game off the bench, of course. But when he got here, Pistons fans were constantly bashing Derrick Rose, just constantly bashing Derrick Rose, and I'm like, why?
Well,
Like just
I
like we
think
were
a part
talking
of
about
that
earlier,
one,
like why
like
would you want to trade Derrick Rose? Like for what? It just doesn't make sense.
a lot of it, I can't remember who said it in the chat because the chat's going crazy. I can't keep up with all of it. I'm trying, but I decided like I can't keep up with it. It's going too fast for me. But I remember because I made a video about it. On 97.1, Mike Valeni said that the Detroit Pistons were irrelevant because they signed Derrick Rose. That he wasn't going to make this team better and he wasn't going to make it worse. He's just here, and he kind of went on and was just making fun of him for all the injuries and saying they're going to roll out a bunch of his MVP highlights and all this stuff. And I'm like, seriously, like this is the guy talking.
Now you
Detroit.
understand why I say Mike Valeni is on site. Like if I see Mike Valeni, we scrap. Like I'm not joking. Because it's so many Pistons fans. And if you listening to us, make sure you guys like the video. This is Above the Rim with the DSA. If you listening to us, guys, don't listen to 97 won the ticket. And I'm going to tell you the main reason why. Because Detroit teams are struggling right now, and the Detroit teams aren't good. So there's nothing positive you're ever going to hear from 97-1 because our teams aren't good. All of their takes are going to be bad. All of their takes are going to be hating. All of their takes are going to be negative. Now, we have to, of course, our teams have to get better. We got to put better product on the field and on the court. But as long as our teams are struggling like this, every time you turn on that radio to hear your sports take from them, it's going to be nothing but negativity. It's going to be nothing but trash. Don't listen to these guys.
But it's not just them, bro. The callers kill me too, bro.
Well, part of that's because they listen.
The callers listen.
I remember I was in Detroit, like I would say, like a couple months ago, bro. When I was there, like, and I listened to the radio, I turned like 97.1 for a second, bro. I heard the stupidest callers, bro. I wanted to scrap them through the radio.
The thing that bugs me the most is they barely talk about the Pistons until there's an Andre trade rumor, or we sign Derrick Rose, or we trade for Blake Griffin, because all of that draws in views because they got a YouTube channel and they'll upload that stuff because that'll do good. They'll get 10,000 views or whatever. But actually listen to them on the radio station. They're not talking about anything of the Pistons. They won't talk about the Pistons until Andre gets traded because they like talking about the Lions because they're all football guys. 90% of what they talk about is the Lions. And I get it because, Detroit, we love our Lions no matter how bad they are. They like talking about the Red Wings even though they're god-awful, but it's hockey town. I get it. They barely talk about the Tigers, and very rarely do they talk about the Pistons. Like when you're that big,
hold on, let me respond.
Go for it.
313 James. Luke Kennard has no first.
That's all I
Luke Kennard is not an athletic basketball player. That's why he doesn't have the type of first step that Zion has. Luke Kennard does not fill the lanes. I don't even know what you mean by that. Is he running the floor like he's a center? What are you talking about? Luke Kennard cannot shoot with a hand in his face. That's completely false and wrong because he's hitting people with step back to the face. What are you talking about? Luke Kennard cannot finish above the rim. You're dumb. What are you talking about? Like, what? Luke Kennard is great at finishing. Like, this is a Pistons fan, guys. He can't finish? What? I watched Luke Kennard hit people with hesitations and make them trip and then finish.
The only bad thing about Luke Kennard is his defense.
Don't watch basketball.
That's the only thing about him that I don't like is his defense.
Luke
When he comes in,
is defense.
Yeah,
that's it.
When he comes in, it's always almost a negative.
Rookie year though.
Yeah, I don't know if he's gonna really improve. The only bad thing about him, when he comes in, people start they start scoring on us easier. That's what I noticed.
Yeah, but I mean, JJ Redick has the same problem. He's not a good defender, but
yeah.
You don't hear Pelicans fans bitching about it, or the Clippers fan when he was in LA.
Well, Pelicans fans do be mad about JJ defense. I'm gonna be honest.
Which leads me to the
But
thinking
they
that we
take
should.
his scoring though. They
I'm
love
sorry.
his scoring though.
Yeah, yeah.
And like Kyle Korver wasn't a defender. Like did Steve Nash play defense?
Not everyone
Like-
comes to the league and clamps everybody up, man. Like Bruce
It's
Brown's a
like-
good defender, but he can't score. Not everyone
Right
can
now,
come in
I'm
here
about
and
to say,
be dominant.
I'm sorry to
You are
interrupt,
what you
but from Twitter, there's from Hoop Central, according to Popeye on Sixers, the Sixers have expressed interest in Luke Kennard, Jeff Green, and Langston Galloway.
Okay, well, they're not getting Luke Kennard, so bye.
Right.
No, they're thinking about trading away Ben Simmons. Maybe
Oh,
we can
no,
get
okay.
Ben
Okay.
Simmons.
I mean, I'm not as high on Ben Simmons as I am on some people, but if you give us Ben Simmons, I ain't complaining. I don't care. I know he can't shoot, and I know no, Ben Simmons needs to come to Detroit because we'll make him shoot the basketball because he'll never hear the end of it. Trust me. The way we treated Andre, we made Andre learn how to shoot free throws.
Oh
We
my
will
god,
make
dude.
Ben
Could
shoot
you
the
imagine if
basketball.
Ben Simmons was here? Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Anytime anyone
Like, we
would
would
post a video,
ridicule him
you hear
so
trade Ben.
bad.
Trade
I'm
Ben.
telling you.
I can already
We
hear it
would
now.
ridicule him so bad that we would make him shoot. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You know how Detroit is. Like, we would make him cry at night because he can't shoot. And he goes like, you know what? I'm going to learn how to shoot. I'm telling you. It'd be good for Ben, man. I'm telling you.
Man.
But, I mean, then okay, say if you do, I didn't realize he was in play here, but say you do trade for Ben Simmons, you're gonna trade away his best assist guy and Luke Kennard. Who's he gonna throw the ball to the perimeter?
I'll give up a first round pick for Ben Simmons in a heartbeat.
I'm not a big Ben Simmons fan to begin with.
Yeah, not really.
I'm not a big Ben Simmons fan either, but he's a point guard, man.
Oh yeah, Bravo. By the way, I didn't forget. Me and J-Mo told you don't worry about Ben Simmons shooting, bro. Don't let them some highlights fool you, bro.
Right. I thought you already know, man, how I feel about Ben. Y'all, people already know how I feel about Ben Simmons. But it is what it is. I don't think unless he comes to an environment like Detroit where, like, sometimes criticism gets to where you're ridiculed so bad that you learn. Because, like, Philly, they don't ridicule him enough. I'm sorry for not being able to shoot. They come at him, but they don't ridicule him enough because he's coming back and he still ain't shooting. And, you know, I know people say, well, he don't have a heart and he ain't work hard like other players. That might be true, but if you ridicule somebody enough, they'll change.
I don't
think
get
Ben
what
Simmons is ever going to be able to shoot the basketball unless you put him in a situation to where he has to shoot, he has to adapt or die.
I don't get why Philly would trade him after they just traded Fultz away. Who's going to be their point guard?
Whoa.
So they're trying to right now trade Ben Simmons to the Golden State Warriors for D'Angelo Russell. That's the trade rumor going on right now.
Yeah.
Wait. What's the trade rumor, Bravo?
D'Angelo Russell for Ben Simmons.
Oh.
Ooh. I don't know why Golden State would want Ben Simmons, though.
Yeah, I don't either, but that'd be nice for Philly. Russell and Embiid when Embiid
But
gets
that's the reason why they would trade Ben Simmons because Joel Embiid is the player. Look, eventually they'll have to choose who we building around, and Simmons or Embiid. Because Simmons and Embiid don't like each other. Right, you trade Simmons.
Embiid has the potential to be a top 5 player in the league.
I'm about to say Embiid has a potential.
Yeah,
I don't know if he'll ever reach it, but Embiid could be the best player in the NBA, man. Like, he's that good.
Yeah.
So
it's just all his mind.
Yeah, and I see just another trade rumor. Also, they're talking on Hoops Hype. Andre Drummond for Chicago Bulls in exchange for Wendell Carter Jr., Zach LaVine, and Archie Diacono.
Yeah, I would be down.
Okay, hold on, guys.
Yeah.
Didn't Chicago just give him an extension though?
Who?
Zach.
Yeah, he has
Chicago is not getting rid of Zach LaVine.
That can't be.
There's no way.
No, that's not.
But I see people in the comments that Philly doesn't ridicule Ben Simmons enough. I know how tough Philly is, but if he's still not shooting the ball, they don't ridicule him enough. I'm sorry.
Oh, they're way tougher on the Eagles.
Ben Simmons coming to Detroit, not shooting, you got life messed up. We made Andre shoot free.
Right.
Like, you got life messed up. Like, I know they're criticizing him a lot over there, but it's not enough because he's still, like, he won't even shoot. Like, it's not like he missing. He won't even shoot.
If we got Simmons, him and Blake would get into a fist fight
I mean,
over the Jenner girls.
You already know Blake gonna be like, cash me outside, bro.
I don't think there's a way the Bulls would trade Zach LaVine. This dude Zach LaVine just scored 20 straight points in the game like yesterday. Had 43 points. And ain't no way they're trading him.
Right, and they're not trading Wendell Carter Jr. either.
No, Wendell Carter Jr. is like, I think it's like his second year.
Second year, yeah.
They're not trading away Laurie Marketing either. So I mean, they're really kind of out of play for that one.
I mean, I think they might trade. I mean, his production is going down recently.
I'll take him.
Oh yeah,
he's all right.
Philly has expressed interest in Langston Galloway and Luke Kennard, so it's official.
That's interesting.
They can have
We ain't
Link.
giving them Luke Kennard. They can have Langston.
Yeah.
Maybe they can give us Ben Simmons, man. Why not? I'll take Ben Simmons. He's an elite passer. I love him.
You know who I
They're
like is
happy.
Zaire Smith. I like him.
I like Carson Edwards, as y'all know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
trade.
Carson Edwards. I
That's
love
why
him,
we
man.
need to trade with Boston so we can get him up Carson.
Oh, here we go. Also from NBA Central, it says the Knicks are close to acquiring Pistons star.
No, that's Stan Andre. He's trolling. I know. I almost fell for it.
I hate that guy, dude.
I know, dude. I was literally just about to say it on the stream, and then I looked and I got trolled, dude.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next question.
Okay. According to Jaylen Brown himself, not Jaylen Brown, yikes, Jalen Rose. There we go. He has expressed interest in being a part owner of the Detroit Pistons. Now, in case you don't know about Jalen Rose, he was part of the Fab Five back in the day, and he is also the guy that Kobe scored 81 on. So he's had a hell of a career, and he's actually a very entertaining person. If you listen to his podcast or his show on ESPN, there's a lot of interesting stuff he has to say. And plus, he's a Detroiter. Native Detroit. He grew up a Pistons fan, watched the Bad Boys, respected the 04 Pistons. So he loves his Detroit. Man, this would be a good move for us, at least locally, because he'd do a lot of stuff for the community. He knows his basketball. He's actually a really smart dude.
Mm-hmm.
J-Mo, man, what would this mean if Rose became a part-time owner of the Pistons?
Look, man, I'm gonna be real, man. I love Jalen Rose. Like as a person, like Jalen Rose has actually been in the city of Detroit. I mean, giving out food to the homeless. He built a school here. Like Jalen Rose is, he's giving back to this city more than most people from this city that has left this city at. So if Jalen Rose wants to be a part of the business, I'm 150% all for it. I know that he'll put some, new ideas into the room.
Mm-hmm.
Keep general managers from doing things stupid. But I'm all for Jalen Rose, man. I love that man. He's done a lot for the city of Detroit. And whenever anybody tries to disrespect us on national TV, he always defends us. Like Jalen Rose holds it down for the city, man. If he wants to join the Pistons, I'm all for it.
Hey, Jalen Rose, if you want to join the Above the Rim, if you're watching, you're more than welcome to join Above the Rim too.
Yeah.
Get that out there. Pistons World, man. Pistons World. What do you think about Jalen Rose becoming an owner of the Pistons?
100 million gazillion %. I would be ecstatic to have Jalen Rose. Jalen Rose gets the NBA right now. He is a smart dude. I think he would be a really great owner. Honestly, he would stop us from doing anything stupid, taking on bad contracts. He knows what's good and what's bad. He gets what's going on now. I think it would be amazing.
CA3, man. What about you? How would you feel about Rose being a part owner of the Pistons?
I would like it though. I mean, I think he understands. I like how he understands the NBA.
Yeah.
And he's just a very smart guy, man. Sometimes I like to watch some of his videos on YouTube that he has on ESPN, that have our ESPN clips from Jalen and Jacoby. I like watching his takes sometimes. So it's nice.
You guys are right. He does know the NBA, but I think the best part about it is he knows Pistons. And what I mean by that is he knows the players that would be available that would fit the Detroit mold. And I think that would be a very underrated value for him. Like you guys say in the chat, he does just a ton of stuff for the Detroit community. He's just a good guy in general. I would have no problem with this. What about you, Bravo? How would you feel?
Yeah, I like the guy. I mean, he's really always talking positive. But I mean, I'm just not gonna be negative in here. I looked at it online. It says only a minority owner, so I don't think it's gonna add a difference for us. It might be just a part of the picture, but all the decision is in Gore's hands. You know.
It'd be like what Grant Hill is to the
We
Hawks.
just need to get him in the room. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when Tom Gores is about to be like, you know what? I'm not gonna take Sekou. You know, I'm gonna take this other guy. That's what Jalen
Yeah,
was
I
like.
agree.
Whoa. Yo, no, you take Sekou. Like Tom Gores needs that extra guy in the room.
Yeah,
And plus Jalen Rose has all
And
the
Jalen Rose
respect.
could be that guy.
Yeah.
Well, I
You
mean,
know,
you look at it
Yeah.
with what
Sorry.
Grant Hill's a part owner of the Hawks, and he still has time to do NBA TV and whatever else he's got going on. So I don't think he'd just be like a sole purpose to be in the room and just talk business with it all. But he would contribute some way, but he'd still be on ESPN and have his podcast and do all that other stuff. So
Yeah, I heard that actually Chauncey Billups or Ben Wallace was interested in part of the ownership of the Detroit Grand Rapid Drive. Maybe they could be also the Pistons.
Big Ben is.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah.
I don't know if he owns the Grand Rapids Drive, but he is a part owner at
Yeah,
least of the Grand Rapids Drive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's a good way to say it. Yeah. Let's talk next topic then.
JMO, what do you got for us on this Luke Kennard topic?
Okay, so the topic is: have the Pistons struggled, or how have they looked since Luke Kennard hasn't been playing? And like I said, because I mean, honestly, some of us probably forgot he was playing. I mean, he was hurt, and we weren't really playing that well. We were focusing on criticizing Blake or whatever. But I think Luke Kennard not being there now. I already know I love Steve. Steve has done this thing, you know, but he's inconsistent, still young, still getting used to it. But he's not. He ain't Luke. He's not. And I think it's been affecting us not having a guy that we know can score the ball. In fact, I don't think either one of those Cleveland games are close if we got Luke Kennard. Luke Kennard dropping 30 both games, straight up on Cleveland. And, you know, I'm very mad we lost him. But I just think we need his scoring. And the main thing we need is his spacing. Like Derrick Rose, it's been harder for him to score on the inside because now all the defense is focused on Derrick Rose.
Mhm.
It's been a lot of times where he's had turnovers, even late game turnovers, like against Cleveland, because everyone knows what he's going to do. That's why you need Luke Kennard on the wing. Like I said, speed is speed. I have no issues with speed, but Luke Kennard is known as a deadly shooter around the league. They know what that man is. So just having him on the court, it just makes the entire team better. I think we've been missing it, and you know that's why we've been struggling in a lot of these games. We've been so inconsistent. Of course, Luke Kennard isn't gonna come here and be the savior and put us on a 10-game win streak. But I think him being out has really hurt us.
You know, and I agree. Luke has done a great job, and Luke Kennard's absent. He's shooting 43% from the 3-point line. That is absolutely magnificent, and I love it. And it's going to be even better when Kennard comes back because you have both those guys. Both those guys are shooting 40% from the 3-point line. That's just what you want to see from your young shooters. But, you know, a very underrated thing from Kennard is his playmaking. He makes the right passes. He might not put the assist numbers, but he makes the right play. And without Blake Griffin, we've seen what we do offensively with him out there, and I like what we do with him offensively when Blake's not there. The ball moves around. You can't just put 5 guys in the paint on Derrick Rose and close the paint out because you're going to kick it out to Luke. And if he shoots 40%, you're giving up 12 points right there off of 3-pointers at the very least. So,
but Speed is playing well, but he doesn't. How many attempts though? He might take 3 shots a game. Like it's not a high enough value.
Yeah, and I think with Blake being out, Luke Kennard needs to be going up too. I think both of them need to get. You have to give your young opportunities, or your young players opportunities. And when we got shooters like that, you got to run the plays for them. And if you're about to trade Dre, that means you don't have to run the pick and roll anymore. You can do whatever you want to do. You have way more floor spacing out there because if I don't know, say you play Christian 1 to 5, he can shoot the 3. You would have way more floor spacing. You can do a lot of different things with this. So I don't know. Bravo, man. What have we been missing from Luke Kennard in his absence?
What are we missing from him? I mean, I like Svi Mihailuk. I mean, I wasn't really much high on him when I first got him, but I see JMO's point when we first got him for return for Bullock. The guy is shooter. In terms of Luke, I mean, Svi has been doing good, and the way he takes the shot is behind off screen, which is really nice. That's what we want him to do, and he increases volume. But Luke, we missed him. But the thing is, I mean, if you see teams how they've been defending Luke Kennard lately, they're putting their best defender on Luke. They're putting the best point guard defender on Luke. So that kind of like let Luke struggle in the last shooting attempts, and I see his percentage did drop a little bit down. And I think that's the thing that we really like. I mean, I feel like Luke can improve in his at least taking the ball, shooting the ball. He needs to shoot the ball in a different way, not just when he has the ball, he shoots it very well. But when he comes off the screen, sometimes he doesn't shoot it as efficient as Svi Mihailuk sometimes. So because the way they've been defending him, he's kind of a slower player than other people, which is kind of like the bad aspect from him. He doesn't have a quick step. I mean, I'm not going to talk negative on Luke in here, but I already did. So as far as I know, I mean, we definitely missed his presence as a ball handler, but I'm not sure if that really gonna. You need to put Luke with a good defenders. That's what you need to do, in my opinion. So in order to have a success for Luke, because when you put him on the team, instantly you notice the team's percentage of points are getting lower than expected. I don't know why he is always in the category of the worst defender on our team, but it looks like it.
Well, with Luke and what you were saying, that's why you need him and Svi on the court at the same time. But that's why you need him and Derrick Rose on the court, because now you got to put your best perimeter defender on Derrick Rose, and if you don't, it's a wrap. And of course they're gonna defend Luke like that. I think Luke just needs to take more mid-range jump shots. We know he can do it.
Yeah.
Because that'll make all the defenders start to come inside more, and then he can go back outside and he can pass. But that's why my dream has always been Derrick Rose, Svi, and Luke. I've literally been saying, and stay cool, and then Andre Drummond. Blake is hurt, but I've always wanted that because that's what I see. I see having a bunch. Derrick Rose and Luke in the backcourt. I know it ain't gonna be no defensive backcourt. Well, Steph Curry and D'Lo don't got no defense either. It is what it is. Most of these elite backcourts, Dame and CJ, no defense at all. But you put Derrick Rose and Luke back there. You can have Svi off the bench, or you can play him at the 3. Then you play Stay Cool at the 4. You got 4 shooters on the floor, and you add Christian Wood. You got 5 shooters on the floor. I know Derrick Rose is like a shooter, he can score, but like you got shooters everywhere, and it allows everything to come out. But that's the respect from Luke. If the game plan is you stop Luke Kennard, you can beat the business because he's our best offensive player when it just comes to purely scoring outside of Derrick Rose. You're gonna put your best defender on Luke. Like, Lonzo playing the Pistons on Monday if Luke was healthy. Oh, he's on Luke and Derrick Rose because he has to be, because otherwise you're gonna get torched. So, and to me, it just comes to calling plays and just learning how to play together.
Yeah.
But we miss his scoring, because that's the thing about Speed. What's the highest points total he scored since Luke's been out? Like 15? Like, I need a guy that can. I know, and Speed is young, and he's still going to develop. And I'm very, very high on Speed because I think he can be a point guard. But that's another conversation. But that's why main reason I want to look. We need somebody that can just get hot and just start scoring with Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose, to me, he's out there by himself when it comes to scoring the ball. He's the only scorer on the team.
Well, this is coming out, as we said a little bit ago, that the Sixers are interested in both Langston Galloway and Luke Kennard and free agent Jeff Green. And going through the comments on Twitter, Philly fans are just biting their nails off trying to get Luke Kennard. And then one of the writers for the Detroit Pistons, Vince Ellis, said several league folks have told me that the Pistons are willing to talk trade on any player on the roster.
Oh my god!
So,
Oh my god!
If the Pistons trade Luke Kennard, I'm done with.
Yeah, I'm with you, J-Mo.
We should not trade Taker.
I'm not. If they trade Luke, I'm done, bro. Like, if we not like what?
Yeah, that's terrible.
Well, I mean,
Because like now, if you
they're
trade
doing the right
Luke and you getting a Bradley Bill, okay. But
He didn't say he
they
was going to trade
trade Luke to
player.
Philly.
They said they were just
Philly
talking
for
trade.
what? Yeah,
So-
but the
I
fact
don't
that they
care.
like anybody's on the table. What do you mean anybody's
Even
on
Seiko?
the table? Like
I don't
you,
think
you
they'll
better
trade Luke
chill
or
out.
Sekou. But I mean, for
But
the argument,
but I did want to say,
what if they offered Joel Embiid, and you're like, all right, well, we're gonna trade Drummond.
oh well, yeah,
I'm
Sekou.
saying,
Yeah, you
you
can
never
take
know.
Trey, you can take Sekou, you can take Luke.
I'm just saying, like, that's
Like,
not,
yeah,
how
if
it's
you're
not
gonna
gonna
get
happen.
Joel Embiid, he's a superstar. Remember what I said? Only for a superstar will I trade
Yeah.
Sekou or Embiid.
Like I said,
But
it's not gonna happen. But you have to, as a front office, and if you're going into this rebuilding stage where you can compete, you got to see what's available. And I think that's all they're doing. But according to him,
But I did want to say the fact that Philly fans are salivating at the teeth over Luke Kennard to show the Detroit fans how good good he is. Because what other fan bases think of Luke Kennard, they love him. Who wouldn't want Luke Kennard on your team? Like he's a
Yeah.
dynamic shooter. Put him with Ben Simmons is a wrap. And they lost JJ Redick, and it has affected their team heavily.
I really hope we don't make a bad decision here.
You know what? Oh, the more I think about it, I think we need to put Jalen Rose at the circle quickly.
Yeah, man. I'm starting to get concerned, really. Like if we trade Luke for Ben Simmons, I ain't gonna know how to react because like y'all know I'm not on the Ben Simmons train, man. Like I don't know how I'm gonna react, bro. Like y'all need to chill out.
Wait, Duncan Smith 1 minute ago. There's nothing actually untouchable on the Pistons roster. Sekou is as close as it gets, but everybody can be had.
Mm.
If they trade Luke Kennard or Sekou, they're gonna regret it.
Yeah, why?
So they're definitely gonna.
If they trade Luke, I'm done. I'm done.
When you do, man.
straight up,
Makes no sense.
Man, I'll be super
There's
pissed.
no way. they're
like
doing
if they trade Luke, I'm gonna do what I did with the Tigers when they traded JD Martinez. When the Tigers traded JD Martinez, I put them on a five-year retainer. They're currently in year 3 of my retainer. That means I'm not messing with y'all for 5 years.
Hey,
Trading JD Martinez is one of the stupidest things I've ever seen them. So,
if they trade Luke Kennard or Sekou, I'm changing my name to Dallas Drew, and I'm making Mavericks video.
bro,
Yeah,
right, I'm
yeah.
Dallas Drew, and I'm gonna be Pelicans J-Mo. Like, y'all bet not trade Luke for a non-superstar. I'm telling you.
I don't see that happening though.
Like, if it's a superstar, I'm not gonna trip. If it's Bradley Bill, I'll be very, very, very pissed. But I'm not gonna trip.
You be pissed if you got
Other than that,
Luke Kennard?
it don't make sense.
Oh, I'd do that deal in a heartbeat.
What?
You said what? Deal?
Also scary if we traded our
Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal's what, 25, 26?
Yeah, I know, man.
But I mean,
Like I said, I'm not gonna. I'll be mad, but I wouldn't trip. It's Bradley Bill. He plays.
I wouldn't be mad at all. I would take that trade.
Yeah, I would too.
I wouldn't mind getting Tobias Harris back, but is that worth giving up young players for?
No.
Tobias has got to be pretty close to 30 now, right?
I don't like
And it's not going to work next year when you have Tobias and Blake. The talk about the Detroit Pistons, no D. And giving away a shooter for Ben Simmons. You don't have a center. You have one less shooter. You're not really surrounding Ben Simmons with a whole lot of talent. I mean, I don't see
know
how a
why
deal can be worked here.
I don't know why you were bringing Ben Simmons here.
I can see trading away Langston Galloway to Philly. It makes sense for Philly. They're a playoff team. They need more shooting, obviously. That's a more doable trade because Langston, he doesn't really have a whole lot of value here in Detroit from the fans, at least.
Well, of course, Brandon Matella gonna say something. If they offer 4 first-round picks for Luke, I'm taking it. Of course, you take that. What you mean?
Yeah, I mean, there's certain like I said, they're doing what they're supposed to do. Just having trade talks with people doesn't mean you're trading any player. It just means you're seeing what the market value is for
But
your
it
players.
gives our Pistons fans PTSD because we've seen Detroit do stupid things in every franchise. Like I said, we just traded away JD Martinez, bro. I'll never forgive them. I'm sorry. Like Justin Verlander hurt, but we traded away like a top 5 hitter in the league just cause. Like, man, I just hope they don't do nothing.
Let's see. Pistons could have help on the way in Reggie Jackson and potential exception from Blake. Oh, that's not a trade rumor. Okay. But yeah, we've been on.
Reggie Jackson finally gonna come back to play 10 games.
I don't know. That was from Ron Beer. I don't know. I don't know what to expect from Reggie.
I'll be also pissed if we trade in our first round pick because this is one of the best picks we would have as it stands right now. I don't know, man. It's just we shouldn't be trading our. Maybe they're just advertising our team. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, if we trade Luke for Ben Simmons, man, it is.
Well, it's pretty.
I'll say Ben Simmons because Ben Simmons is a point guard. We've been asking for a point guard for a decade. If we go out and get a guy like that, it's just the thing is I don't know if he'll thrive here because he can't shoot. And y'all know how he is about to shoot, man. I'm telling you, like we might make him go into a state of depression on Kevin Love stuff if this man not shooting that ball.
Actually, I mean, the way I think about it, I think Ben Simmons and Sekou. Ben Simmons passes the ball really well. Sekou is good in transition, so I mean they might be a good combo, to be honest.
It'd be interesting because all five guys will be able to push the floor.
Ben Simmons is a good player. He gotta start shooting the ball. Like it's just that simple. Like you can't.
If they get him though, JMO, they'd build around him because we won't have Andre here. Blake's hurt.
No, I mean look.
Ben's one dimensional.
Look, we get Ben Simmons, man. I'm not tripping. It's Ben Simmons.
Yeah,
I could take it or leave it. I won't really ruffle my feathers if we got him, and I wouldn't care if we passed up the opportunity. I'll be neutral on it. So
I'm not a big Simmons fan at all. So
I'm really not.
Yeah, I'm not a big Ben Simmons fan, but at the end of the day, I'm about basketball. I don't care if I don't like Ben Simmons. He on my team. I'm gonna root for you. I'm gonna root for you to be the best you can be. I'm gonna root for you to be the best player in the NBA.
Hey,
I'm a hope for the best.
Benjamin Foe is absolutely correct. He said Ben Simmons and Thon Maker is the next Kobe and Shaq. Wake up, fellas. Yeah, you ain't lying, man. That's
Uncle Capone said we going to the Eastern Conference Finals this year if we get Ben Simmons. They not going to the Eastern Conference Finals on Philly, and they got Ben Simmons.
But
I'm telling y'all right now, you heard it here first. Philly is going to lose to Miami or the Raptors in the playoffs. You heard it here first.
Hey, Tone Capone, bro. I'm worried about your basketball knowledge, bro. What, bro? What'd you just say? You said Eastern Conference Finals this year if we get Ben? What?
Oh my God.
What?
What is it?
There's tripping.
Crazy world.
I don't.
What would Philadelphia 76ers give us in return for Luke and Langston Galloway?
Oh, Gangster Galloway. I like that.
Gangster Galloway.
That's a good nickname.
Well, what would they give us in their? Do you think they just give us Ben Simmons easily like this? I don't think so. They would want something else.
Because the only reason we're saying Ben Simmons because we ain't gonna take no freaking Josh Richardson. Like they don't got nobody in Philly.
Yeah,
they don't got no players. They don't got no players. All they got is Ben Simmons.
And if they get, let's say, if they get rid of Ben Simmons, who do they have at point guard? None of them.
Nobody.
Yeah, that's the thing I can't get is after they traded Fultz away, why would they trade Ben Simmons away?
Because Philly.
Yeah.
I could see Ben Simmons for D'Angelo Russell. It might be a smart trade for both teams. Maybe I don't know, but
yeah, but that won't work for when Curry and Clay come back.
Yeah, that doesn't make no sense.
Yeah. I don't know.
You're gonna put a non-shooter who isn't a center, and then basically he's gonna replace Draymond, but he don't even shoot three. Like,
he would be pretty much taking Draymond's job.
Right, but he don't even shoot the three.
Or they would slide Draymond to the 5, which would be stupid.
Yeah, that's
like they would probably be like, Ben, we gonna have to you're gonna have to start taking threes because that's our system. And every time the moment get big, Ben ain't gonna take it. And then, Steph Curry and Draymond gonna eat them. They're gonna be like, bro, if you don't take this three, you fuck.
I think Golden State would be more interested in Tobias. To be honest with you, Tobias would fit Golden State way better than Ben Simmons would.
Yeah, definitely.
But we've been on for 2 hours. Let's talk about this before we wrap things up. Trade deadline will be here February. Mm-hmm. Before you know it, I think it's the first week of February, which means we're getting closer to the All-Star game. We're getting closer to the All-Star break in general, which means playoffs will be here before you know it, man. It's still wide open. Any team can move up or down pretty much at this point. Miami is currently 7 games behind Milwaukee for the first seed. I think they'll stay there. And Denver is 5 games below LA out in the West for the first seed. But really, in both conferences, 7 through 8 is wide open. But fellas, I want to know your sleeper teams, man. What's some of these teams that can upset some of these guys, or just really shock some guys in the playoff? Pistons. Well, I'm gonna start with you. Who's your sleeper team going into the playoffs?
My sleeper team is Memphis. I really like Memphis. I like John Moran. I like Jaren Jackson. Team that got a talented team.
Team, man.
And they might not make the playoffs, though.
I don't think they'll make the playoffs though, but they're a very underrated team though.
What about you, CA3? Who's your sleeper team going into the playoffs?
My sleeper team going to the playoffs. This is so tough because it's just like the bot. I'm gonna roll with my sleeper team. I'm gonna roll with OKC because
That's
OKC, man, that they're playing well with that Shea
Gilgeous. Yeah.
Easy for you to say.
And Chris Paul, he's been playing very well in his new role. So I like that team, and they have Danilo playing, and they got Dennis Schroeder off the bench. I like that team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm shout out to OKC, man. No one's, especially me. I did not think they were going to be as good as they were. So Chris Paul is still the real deal, man. He's that guy.
Horrible though, just because of his contract, but it hasn't backfired so far.
Right. My sleeper team is in the East. Is definitely the Miami Heat. I think the Miami Heat are going to face the Milwaukee Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals, and I think it's going to be a very, very good series.
But is Miami a sleeper team though? They're the second seed.
Yeah, they're not a sleeper team.
I don't know if
they are a sleeper because they came out of nowhere. I mean, a few teams. Yeah,
they're a surprise team. They're not a sleeper.
Yeah,
I think we all expect them to be probably like a 6th seed or a 5th seed.
I didn't know. I didn't know if they were going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I knew they would make the playoffs.
Yeah.
But y'all already know my sleeper team in the West, man, the Pelicans, bro. They making the playoffs. But y'all already know what it is. And if the Pelicans make it to the 6th seed, they're going to get out the first round.
Man, I can see them in that 8th seed, though, because the voluntary of the West is just bad. If they can get Zion.
Yeah, the bottom of the West is just trash. Once they get Zion, it's over.
If they can get Zion and all them back healthy, I think they can make it, though. They can
yeah, and I don't know if Zion's first game is going to be against us because I would never want to wish that on the Pistons. Could you imagine Zion Williamson 30 points and 10 rebounds in Detroit? Like, I don't need that. That. But Zion is healthy. If you've seen his videos, I don't know why the Pelicans are still holding him out. Like, the dude is out here windmill dunking. He's healthy. So he's coming back anytime soon. Pelicans, they've been great in their last 10 games since they really got healthy. I mean, they beat playoff teams. This is a really good team that's loaded. Once they add Zion, it's just going to be Lonzo, JJ Redick, Drew Holiday, Zion, Derek Favors, Jackson Hayes, Equan Moore. Like, they got a squad over there.
Bravo, man. Who are your sleeper teams / super sleeper teams?
I mean, just like Jamo said, the team that surprised me the most in the NBA is the Miami Heat. I can go maybe Raptors. They're still doing good, surprisingly. I can say the Hornets, surprisingly a good team. I don't know how they came up like with this record.
Bravo, man. They're like 10 games below 500. They're not.
Yeah, but they're still surprisingly. You expect the Hornets to tank this season.
I mean,
one of the worst teams in the NBA.
I mean, really, the only reason why they're doing better than what I thought is just because of Devontae Graham.
Yes, there you go. So
they've won only 15 games.
And, I mean, they won one game.
They got more wins than us, so
they can still sneak into the playoffs.
And they beat us 3 or 4 times this year already. So hey, yeah, I don't mind. I'm gonna go with 2 teams you guys haven't said yet. Yeah, Indiana's about to get Victor Oladipo back, and no one's talking about that. They're currently.
I know about Indiana.
They're currently the 6th seed, which means they would play Philadelphia right now in the playoffs. And with Victor Oladipo coming back, I think they have a shot at upsetting them because Victor Oladipo is that guy. And my second team, the Dallas Mavericks, have an MVP type player in Luka.
It's a sleeper team, bro. What?
Hey, they were my sleeper team. You go back and rewatch it.
Another team is the Jazz, though.
And they're the 6th. They're the 6th seed out west right now. So. They're not a top tier. They'd be playing Houston in the first round if it started today. which I think a lot of people would take Houston, but I got Dallas winning that one too.
No. It depends how good how good Kristaps Porzingis plays, but no.
All I'm gonna say is Westbrook.
Man, Westbrook gonna show up, man.
No, you gonna chill. You better chill on Westbrook, man. You gonna learn.
No, I'm not a Westbrook fan, man.
You gonna learn, man.
He's got all the talent in the world and shoots like he's shooting 20% from the 3-point line, man.
He can't shoot. He's not a shooter. Why do y'all fans not give it Westbrook?
Well, then
It's
stop
not
shooting
a
the ball.
Yeah, thank you. If he's not shooting, then why is he shooting?
Because he know how to jack the ball.
He has to shoot. What do you mean?
I mean, he played in the Rockets.
Who else is going to shoot it besides James Harden?
Eric Gordon. He's a pretty good guy to come off.
He's hurt.
Eric Gordon is getting a lot of shots, and he just came back from injury. But it's not like Westbrook is taking.
Okay, but you can say the same thing about
33
Philadelphia.
games.
You don't see Ben Simmons out here shooting what
9
4 of 20 from the 3-point line.
Yeah,
every night.
Ben Simmons don't got no MVPs either. So
Hey, Westbrook's got all the talent. He should be taking guards off the dribble left and right and just
Even
absolutely
man,
that's what
liberating.
Westbrook does. Westbrook mainly scores inside and off the
I
dribble.
mean, even on
He
the
does not take that many shots from three.
He's got the same problem LeBron does. LeBron should be dominant every night, but they take plays off and they don't want it.
Westbrook takes plays off.
Well, he settles. I should
What?
say I misspoke. They settle for 3-pointers when they have the ability to attack the rim and get layups, draw fouls, dunk it on people. And there's times where they just settle for the 3-point, which at times they catch fire and they don't miss. But like he's shooting 20% from the 3-point line. He should stop.
Yeah.
He should stop. He should be shooting 3 or 4 a game, and that's it. It needs to be shooting mid-range and going to the line.
How many threes is he shooting a game?
I don't know. Too many.
Let me do this.
You say too many. You can easily look that up.
He is shooting.
I got you.
Let's get accurate here.
He is shooting 5 threes per game.
Yeah.
And shooting 20%. That's terrible.
He's shooting 23% from 3.
That's terrible.
Who's
He needs
that?
to stop.
Westbrook.
Oh, I thought you say
I
Simmons.
mean, but he
Doesn't even shoot.
averaging.
I was about to say Simmons. No.
He's
He
averaging
has to
24
shoot the ball.
If Westbrook's getting to the point, he's got to be 30, 31 now. Like, he needs to add that to his game, and he hasn't.
I mean, the thing I don't know
Some
why
players never could shoot the ball. Magic couldn't shoot the ball. Like some players just can't shoot.
I mean,
Yeah, but at least shoot 30%. 23, that's just ugly.
Yeah.
I wish.
But he's playing on a different team with James Harden.
I mean,
It's completely
Chris
different.
Paul was a better fit. I said it.
I wish.
Chris Paul was not a better fit.
It was a better fit.
I don't know
Chris
about
Paul
that.
was injury. Chris Paul was injury prone.
Yeah, but they were one of the best teams in the West with Chris Paul healthy. And now I know, like I
But
didn't
it
say they
wasn't
were a
because of
championship,
Chris Paul. It was because of James Harden.
but James Harden's doing the exact same things, and they're a worse team. Chris Paul played defense.
Saying they're
And
worse team, like they're a
shoot.
bad team. Like they're in the West.
They were about to beat the Warriors until Chris Paul got hurt.
Right, he got hurt as he always does.
It's just going to be the same thing here. Instead of getting hurt, Westbrook's just going to shoot 23% from the floor.
I mean, Russ still puts up better numbers. though.
I disagree with that, man. I think James Harden finally has a person he can give the ball to that can actually score. Because when they lost to Golden State without KD, Chris Paul was trash. Couldn't do a thing. Harden was out there by himself and got exposed as he usually does.
Russ puts up way better numbers than Chris Paul, in my opinion.
He's better than Chris Paul.
He's better than Chris Paul. But
He is better than Chris Paul, but Chris Paul is a better fit for the team.
I don't know about that,
I
bro.
disagree with that. But
You can disagree. Oh, you lost because you disagreed. You just
I mean,
went AFK.
I don't really think I wouldn't call Chris Paul really a better fit because I think I saw Chris Paul like last season. I just saw he was getting old. I mean, I think Chris Paul fits better as one of those number one options guys. I wouldn't want Chris Paul as like my number 2 guy unless, especially with a guy like James Harden because they both need the ball.
And that's the thing,
Yeah,
though.
I mean, if
When
Chris
Chris
Paul
Paul
was
was there,
a
they
better
moved.
fit, they wouldn't have got rid of him.
I mean, but still, it didn't really move with Chris Paul. They still played the same game.
Right, they play the same way. The thing is,
They played the same way.
the Rockets don't know how to use their players to their talents. They didn't use Chris Paul right, and they
Hey,
did not.
I'll agree with that. Their biggest problem is Mike D'Antoni.
Exactly.
That's the real problem. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you got CP3 or Westbrook. You're not going to win anything with him as your
I was
coach.
saying, I don't understand why people say, "Oh, Russell Westbrook and James Harden, it's a bad fit because that they don't play together." But they still play the same way with Russ, but and Chris Paul. They play the same way, literally the same way, literally. It's just different because now they give Russ the ball when James Harden is cold and Russ scores when he wants to. It wasn't like that with Chris Paul. Chris Paul, he could score, but he couldn't score as much as Russ.
No, yeah, Chris Paul's old, man. He's like 36.
I mean, I saw the Clippers game. I think it was like maybe a month ago. The Rockets were down by like 20-some points at like halftime, and then they came back because James Harden was cold and I think he was in foul trouble, and Russ had dropped 40, bro.
Yeah, yeah, Westbrook is James Harden, the only teammate that's ever scored.
They couldn't do that if they had Chris Paul, bro.
I wanna talk this before we if we're going to transition to questions, but we got a couple more things to talk about, and we're going to transition back to the Detroit Pistons. And this question's for everybody. We'll go around and ask everyone one by one. You guys go ahead and tell us in the chat, and make sure you hit that like button if you have not done so already. And be sure to check out the description for all the DSA member links. Bravo, you don't have any links for anything. I'm sorry, but you can follow Pistons World on Twitter. Bravo, do you have a Twitter? I don't think you do you?
I do, but I only use it for the
Sorry, I got nothing for you to plug then.
That's okay.
I mean, he got a YouTube.
Oh yeah, you guys you can follow Bravo on YouTube if you got that.
Bravo, plug your YouTube name, man.
Okay.
What's your YouTube name, Bravo?
It's Bravo Mo 1982, just like my name right now.
There you go. Be sure to follow and subscribe Bravo on YouTube as well. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here's the next topic. Should Dwayne Casey be on the hot seat? Obviously, this has been not the season we have been looking for. We are falling way short to our expectations. I thought this team would be a 6 seed and be in that fight for it. Obviously, they're not going to be a 6 seed. Even if they make the playoffs, they'll be an 8, maybe a 7 seed. But J-Mo, man, should Dwayne Casey be on the hot seat? Okay.
Yeah.
CA3, I'll pass it to you, man. Should Dwayne Casey be on the hot seat?
Oh man, it's a tough question because
It is.
it's like sometimes I like what Dwayne Casey does, and sometimes I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like the stuff that he was doing last game, the reason like against the Cavs, that's unacceptable, bro. Why is Maker in the game over Christian Wood, and why isn't Seiko in the game? It makes no sense, bro. And then, I mean, I think Dwayne Casey is a decent coach, but he just makes some boneheaded and stubborn decisions too often. I mean, but I wouldn't necessarily put him on the hot seat yet because we've had some injury issues too. That's kind of reason for I guess our bad season so far. I mean, I wouldn't put him on the hot seat yet, but
I agree. Dwayne Casey does have his flaws, and you said his rotations are pretty bad, and that's really what everyone has a problem with. But you have to give Dwayne Casey some time. He's not on the hot seat yet. He won't be on the hot seat for at least another 2 years because you have to go back and look at what he did in Toronto. Rather you want to say he was the mastermind behind it or if it was Nick Nurse, whatever you want to say, but he took Toronto, who was one of the worst teams in the Eastern Conference, and over, 7 or 8 years, whatever it was, slowly but surely got better every year and made them one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. So give Dwayne Casey some time and let him get the guys he wants because a lot of this team is still Stan Van Gundy guys. Now, he has brought in some guys like Derrick Rose. He's traded for Tony Snell. He's brought in Markieff. He's drafted Sekou. He's drafted Bruce Brown. He's gotten some of his guys, but he hasn't got all the guys he wants yet. So once all this smoke and stuff clears after the Andre stuff settled, what we'll do with Blake, once he gets his guys, then we can start putting him on the hot seat if it doesn't work out. But J-Mo, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back. And I feel like we got to stop making excuses. Oh, this isn't his team. Oh, give him time. Oh, so we got to wait 8 years to have a good team? Nah, man. I feel like if we got a better coach than Dwayne Casey, we would be better. Now, we've definitely had injuries, but when the team was healthy, we were still losing the bat. Or whatever you want to blame that on now. Should he be on the hot seat? No, he's not going to be on the hot seat because of his situation, but he's heavily underachieving. And I mean, what he did against Cleveland, like I was obviously still a little bit under the weather when I was watching the game, and I'm like, oh, we got this game. I fall asleep. I wake up and we in overtime, and I'm like, wait, what happened? And then I'll be like, and then I look at, I kept looking at Seku's minutes. I'm like, did Sekou get hurt? Why did he only play 20 minutes? Is he injured? I'm checking online to see if he's injured. And then I find out that Dwayne Casey was just like, yeah, I'm not gonna play you. I don't know what to make of Dwayne Casey. I thought he was an okay coach, but I'm not really sold on that because like his system, he just hasn't been a good coach.
Well, it would do it this way, JMO. Is he better than Stan Van Gundy?
I'm better than Stan Van Gundy.
That's not really saying much. I seen that
Right,
Stan Van
it's not.
Gundy was throwing some shade at us on
it's
NBA
the
TV.
same thing with it's the same thing with the Matt Patricia Jim Caldwell thing. Yeah, Matt Patricia's worse than Jim Caldwell, but Jim Caldwell wasn't that good. It's the same thing. To me, he should be better. We should be better. We should not be as bad as the team that we are. And I know we've had injury issues, but with the roster, when we had Marquise Morris, was like when everyone was healthy, we should have been able to win more games, and we're just not winning games. He's not going to be on the hot seat because he's early in his coaching tenure, but do you really think he's going to take us to a fifth seed, fourth seed? I don't know.
In time, he will.
The worst part is we don't have a replacement.
Look, this is happening at the right time. The struggling thing is happening at the right time. Because you look at Milwaukee, if they re-sign Giannis, they're going to be the top team in the East for as long as he's healthy. Because people are going to go there and they're going to want to play. It'll only be a matter of time. You can put Miami in that conversation. They'll add some free agents in the summer and get better. But you look at Philly, and they're already trying to trade Ben Simmons out of town. How long until Embiid gets fed up and wants to trade? I mean, stuff like that's going to happen all the time because they're not better than Milwaukee. Boston, they're just kind of there, and they're really a superstar away from being even in the conversation, but they're a solid team. Indiana's a solid team, but they're not beating Milwaukee. So I think some of these teams are going to start selling their pieces and really kind of go in that rebuild stage, kind of like what we are doing right now. And by then, we'll be right where we're supposed to be in a top team. Dwayne Casey's here. He's got his players. We'll get better. I think this is happening at a good time. We're looking at it right now.
I see people in the comments talking about we don't have a team. We don't have a team. That's the point. Good coaches, when you don't have a team, still win games in the NBA. That's my point. It's plenty of other things with injuries. Indiana lost their best player. Look at them. Not this year, last year too. That's the point. The point is we've lost games where we've had leads in the fourth quarter against bad teams. Like, why is Washington coming in and blowing us out by 20? But the next time we play Washington, we win. That's bad coaching. And it was with the same roster. So I don't want these excuses.
Well,
People
I mean, you kind of have to.
Just because you don't have all of your horses, that doesn't mean you can't win. No, good coaches win when their backs are against the wall.
It's a mixed bag, JMO, because you look at Indiana, they are really stacked. I mean, outside of Victor Oladipo, they were healthy, and then they brought in a guy like Brogdon who helped fill the void
last
this
year.
year.
We don't even have to talk about this year. We go last year.
Yeah, and they did good while he was out. No one saw that coming, but that was one player for the Pistons. We're missing Reggie Jackson. Rather, if you like Reggie or not, I don't care what side of the fence you're on. He's our starting point guard, and we've had to start Bruce Brown, who can't shoot a lick, and Tim Frazier, who's just absolute trash. Your guy you're paying $30 million to, who's supposed to come in here and score 30 points, is having.
So let me ask you, even with all of that, if you're leading in the fourth quarter and you lose, that's because we were starting Tim Frazier and Bruce Brown?
No, the problem with that is we didn't put players in the right position. You played Derrick Rose at the wrong time and didn't save him for that stretch when you needed him. That's the real problem with the Dwayne Casey. I know that's the problem. That's why I said it's a mixed bag.
My point isn't that My point is, we've had fourth quarter leads and we've lost them in games that we could have won. And you can't tell me that injuries because we were winning the game. That's my point. The Cleveland game, there is no excuse you can give me for that losing that game. Nothing. Because we played well enough to win.
Let's get everyone else's thoughts. Piston World, did I pass this one to you yet?
No, you did not.
What's your take? Should he be on the hot seat, yay or nay?
Honestly, it's hard. It's a hard question because I like some of the stuff he does, and I don't like some stuff he does. Like, he doesn't trust Christian Wood. Like, he's playing Thon Maker over him. Some of his lineups are horrible, but he's good at developing young players. So honestly, I think Dwayne Casey is a coach for a rebuilding team. I don't think he's a coach for a contending team. So it just depends what direction the Pistons are going to go in. So right now, I don't think so.
We're heading that way. We're heading into the rebuilding stage closer and closer every day.
Yeah, so I would keep him. I don't think he's on the hot seat.
Mr. Bravo, or should I say Dr. Bravo, what are your thoughts? Should Dwayne Casey be on the hot seat?
I agree with Piston World. So, I think we should put Dwayne Casey not on the hot seat, put him on the cold seat. This guy is really cold, ice cold. He's doing a great job for our organization, developing young guys. We're heading towards the right direction because we do not need to win this season. We need to get closer to a top 5 pick. I repeat, because we do not have a team that is ready to compete this year or in the next couple of years. We need a team that is able to rebuild, and Dwayne Casey is the best coach for this. He is probably going to take us to the promised land. Look what he did with Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan. He put them into the Eastern Conference Final a couple of times. I don't know how many times they went to the second round. The guy is a master at development. The most important thing in the NBA right now is not winning championship. Championship comes in really rarely. I'm going to be honest with you guys. The most important thing in the NBA is player development.
Absolutely.
Player development is the most important thing. And we're not even close to winning a championship. So I say we need to get closer to tanking. I'm not going to say tank. No, but I'm going to say it's good to watch the player playing. Dwayne Casey made Langston Galloway right now valuable. He made Svi Mihailuk valuable. He even made Christian Wood as valuable. The guys can be traded. They can be to trade assets. And I think it's a good thing for us. I think we need to lose this season because we desperately need a point guard. This draft season is full with talented point guards. I'm going to say not talented, really good point guards. Cole Anthony, LaMelo Ball. We got Tyrese Halliburton, and we got also like Nico Mannion. We got this French guy, Killian Hayes. There's a lot of 6 or 7 point guard. There's draft heavy. We can actually pick one of them, and I think it'll be just good for us. So do not put don't put the hot seat on. Don't put Casey on the hot seat. Put him on the cold seat. Actually, he's doing good. And maybe when we reach close to a contending, we can flip him just to a different coach when we win championship, just like Toronto did with Nick Nurse. They flipped him in the end because they felt like he's not really going to bring him a championship. And look at Nick Nurse. He did really good because he knows how to make an adjustment. That's the only bad part for Dwayne Casey. When I think in this case, it can be easily fixable by just getting a good assistant head coach. And I don't like, I'm not a great fan of Sean Sweeney, but I think he can have some point in development too, which I like about him. But if we really need to compete for a championship in the future with good players, maybe we can get a guy like maybe a good assistant coach that could help Dwayne Casey in winning a championship.
Pistons World, what do you guys say real quick?
Dwayne Casey, he has flaws, but he's good at player development, and like Bravo said, it's really important. But sometimes I just feel like he plays favorites. I don't feel like he trusts Christian Wood as much as he should. I think it would have been a great learning experience for Sekou to be in those final minutes of that Cavs game. But if he could just learn to, I guess, trust some of the players more, then I feel like he would be a lot better of a coach. But I think we should definitely keep him.
He definitely plays favorites because Galloway has been getting too way too many minutes than Casey.
Nah, I think Galloway deserved it. He's been playing great this season.
Alan Tellick says nobody answered the question about Steve Kerr being a bad coach. No, Steve Kerr isn't a bad coach. I don't know why that's the question, but okay.
All right, let's go ahead and transition into this last topic before we wrap it up because there is some NFL playoff games, and I really want to watch this San Francisco-Minnesota game to see what the heck's going to happen there. So before we wrap things up, fellas, the Pistons play the Chicago Bulls. I believe it is in Detroit. Let me double-check that one.
Yeah, it's in Detroit.
It is in Detroit.
Yeah.
Tip-off's at 7. I will not be streaming the game.
Be there, but I can't.
Yeah, I will not be streaming the game, so I'm sorry. What's going on, Micro Mike? Shout out to Micro Mike. So, you guys know the drill. Who you guys taking? Who, what, where, why, and how? Bravo, I'm going to start with you. Who wins tonight?
I'm actually going to the game, FYI. First. So, got seats, which is nice. So, I'm going by myself. But I think the Pistons will win because the Bulls just played last night. I mean, I'm not really opposing to losing because we need to get lower. This is a season, our chance to get a good pick, but I could see us winning today.
You know, if I was Chicago coach, I would call my players a bunch of thugs and ask Daily Me to call them slugs because that seemed to motivate them pretty well too. Pistons World, man. Who are you taking tonight, Chicago or Detroit?
This is hard. I'm going to take Chicago just by a couple. It's going to be a really close game. I'm going to take Chicago.
You know, at this point, I can't blame you for taking Chicago. CA3, man. Bulls or the Pistons tonight?
I think I think the Pistons will win barely. I think that they'll win because I just don't think Chicago has another guy to score besides Zach LaVine, and because Zach LaVine literally scored 20. He scored 20 straight points at one time for his team, and he scored 43 points. And they still lost by 11 points. And
I mean, they were going to get to Indiana though.
I mean, Indiana. I understand that, but you imagine scoring 20 straight points for your team, and you shot 14 for 23, and you scored 43 points. And you had eight threes, and you lose by 11. That has to hurt, bro.
Oh no, it definitely hurt.
J-Mo, man, who you taking? You got Detroit basketball.
No. Chicago's gonna beat them. We're not gonna be able to guard Zach LaVine. He's going to torch us. I think the game will be competitive, but when it matters most, we're gonna choke. I think Chicago's a better team. To be honest. I mean, I know our records are very similar, but now we had Luke Kennard and Marquise Forrest. Then I'll be much more confident. But
I think they said Marquise has been upgraded to a game time decision.
And Wendell Carter Jr.
I don't know if Marquise isn't enough. We need Luke.
You said Wendell Carter Jr. is out tonight, Bravo?
Yeah, Wendell Carter Jr. is not playing.
So does that mean they're going to start Thaddeus Young?
They're going to play this guy, their bench center, which I really liked in the second round. I forgot his name, but he's really good player.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about, Bravo.
Yeah,
he's nice. I like him. Yeah,
I wanted him I wanted the Pistons to draft him, but I forgot his name.
Yeah, he's the foreign guy. But yeah, no, we're going to lose. I would love for us to win, to be honest, but I just think Chicago's better, and they're going to show it.
Yeah. To this point, I don't know how you guys made picks. It's too hard to decide what Pistons team we're going to get. There's times we take care of the ball and we play defense, and then those are the 15 wins that we got, and however many losses we got. Those are the games we turn the ball over and we don't care to play defense at all. So I mean, it's really too hard to pick because we don't know what team we're going to get. Sometimes we look decent, other times we just look terrible. I do expect Derrick Rose to continue the hot hand and have a good game. Hopefully, Dwayne Casey can realize he needs to save him to close the game out. But I do like starting him to start the second half. It seems we go on a little run there to start second halves recently, so I do like that. Obviously, Dre needs to have another good game to boost his trade value if we're going to be traded him. So there's a couple things to look at. It's going to be matchups, but at this point, I don't really think the Pistons are too concerned about winning games, so I do have Chicago winning this game as well. So
it wouldn't hurt, actually. It wouldn't hurt. anymore.
I don't care if the Pistons want to lose or win. I just want to know the direction they're going to be heading in. Because
I'm
even
about to say I want to win.
yeah, I want to win too. This is a playoff team, and they're not playing like it, which is the worst part about it.
Yeah, so the guy of the Chicago Bulls center is Daniel Gafford. I really liked him. Yeah.
Oh, you talking about Gafford? I thought you were talking about somebody else.
He's-
Gafford's a
No,
center? I thought Gafford was a power forward.
No,
Yeah,
he's a
he's
center. He's-
for real.
I like him. Yeah, I really liked him.
No, I like Daniel Gafford.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think Chicago's just a little bit better. And just like you were saying,
Yeah.
Drew, I don't. This is my problem. I would be confident we can win if I knew we were going to play defense. And I don't think we're going to be able to
Yeah.
defend Zach LaVine. And we ain't Indiana. Zach LaVine scored 20 straight points and scored 43. We're losing. We're not going to win by 11.
Let me tell you some quick facts. Wendell Carter Jr. is out. Chicago on a 6-game losing streak. So, and they played last night. These are all facts that we can actually beat them.
They'll probably
don't
start
think it
Bruce
matters.
Brown and put Bruce Brown on Zach LaVine if that helps you any, JMO.
That's not going to help. That's what you mean. That's barbecue chicken.
I mean,
But-
but Zach LaVine. I mean,
Our only hope is the fact that Zach LaVine played well last year. He probably played, so maybe he'll be tired. Like I know, Bravo, you're right about them being back to back. We couldn't win because Zach LaVine would be tired. I just don't trust him. Like I mean, that Cleveland game, I cannot believe it. That game made like any faith that I had, I lost it when we lost that game. Like so. But it's the Pistons, so knowing them, they'll probably beat the Bulls tonight. And like I said, I really want us to win. I don't like losing. I want us to win every game. I still want us to make the playoffs unlike some other people, but I just don't know what team I'm going to get. And since I don't know what team I'm going to get, I'm going to look at the rosters. I'm going to look at who has the best player. Now, you could say Drummond is better than LaVine, but it's a guard league. So even if Drummond is a better overall player, that's a big if. But even if he's a better overall player, they got the best guard. I know we got Rose, Zach LaVine. So, and then that's just what I'm thinking about. But maybe Zach LaVine is tired or something like that. But I just don't know how much we can bank on that. But Markieff Morris come back, that'll be a big boost.
I don't know if he's playing. I just think he's been upgraded to game time.
I might change my prediction if Markieff Morris is back. I might change it to a dub.
I know he's been practicing at least, but I think he's been upgraded to a game time decision. So,
which one you would like to see? Winning a game, or maybe having Sekou Doumbouya losing and having Sekou Doumbouya career high?
Oh, Sekou. I'm Sekou all the way.
What I wanted to say
I'm
was
taking W's. I'm taking W's. I'm sorry. I'm taking W's.
Oh man!
If Sekou drops 30 points, that's enough.
I take it. I love it.
Okay, now he said career high though. So career high for Sekou.
So what? That'd be
16.
what? 16 points?
Yeah, like that's not that high.
Maybe
but
20,
Sekou
25
Sekou
points.
dropped 35. Then maybe. But I take W's, man. Like Shannon say, it's only W and L's in my restaurant, man. I want W.
I think Sekou dropped 17 versus the Warriors, I believe.
No, he dropped 16.
Career high.
16. So it'll be 17 would be career high.
Yeah.
What do you got for us, Pistons world?
Well, like what I was just about to say was I don't think we'll win today, but I think Sekou will have his career high, have a really big game today.
Yeah.
I think he will.
Yeah, all right. So majority of us went Chicago for tonight, but who knows with this team? But we've been on for 2.5 hours. I think this might actually be the longest above the rim. I think that might be a new record for us.
100.
Bro, hey,
Yeah.
I told y'all it was Free Smoke Saturday, so that's why the show had to get extended.
It really didn't die down though, man. Everyone pretty much stayed tuned. We had a lot of stuff to talk about. It was a good show, so I'm happy with it. But let's go ahead and transition to final thoughts, man. CA3, I'm gonna start with you, man. What are your final thoughts on today's show?
It was nice being on for the first time in a while. Try to be more consistent, but that's not really a guarantee because I'm starting tennis season as well, and I'm trying to balance out school. So I don't know what's gonna happen with that, but it was nice to be on here, and go Pistons, man. Get this dub tonight.
Pistons world, man. What are your final thoughts on today's show?
I just want to say it's been a great show. Thank you for everybody that tuned in. And go Pistons.
Dr. Bravo, man, appreciate you coming on the show. Have fun at the game, but what are your thoughts on today's show?
Good show, really good stuff. I like it. So really, we talked a lot, and I think the next shows are going to be even more interesting because we're going to see trades coming up, maybe, and as we get closer towards the trade line, and hopefully, see a career high for Doctor Doom.
Yes, sir.
I like the nickname. I'm gonna start calling you Snoop Dogg, JMO, because you want all the smoke. What do you got for final thoughts on today's show?
As I told y'all, it was Free Smoke Saturday. I had to rant about y'all Sekou haters, had to rant about y'all Lonzo haters, had to rant about y'all Luke Kennard haters. And guess what? I'm gonna be here next week, so it might be Free Smoke Saturday next week if y'all playing it. But
Yeah,
anyway, man.
That could be a T-shirt for you down the road. Just saying.
Hey, low key, I'm gonna make one Free Smoke Saturday. But it is good to be back, man, because I've been really, really sick with the flu, like very, very bad. So it really hurt me to miss that last show. I really wanted to be a part of it. So I'm glad that I'm feeling back healthy, and I can finally go back to work and start making some freaking money. Cause like that's the main reason I was mad. I couldn't go to work. But with the Pistons, honestly, I still think we can make the playoffs just because the East is that bad. The East is that bad. Like I don't know where we were before we lost to Cleveland, but when we beat Cleveland, we were like the 9th or the 10th seed. So we're not that far out.
Cleveland, bro. We could have been the 9th, bro.
Yeah. So I think the Pistons. I'm not that confident in us winning tonight, but I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm completely wrong about prediction. I hope we really win, and I just hope this thing can get healthy because right now health is a real issue. I feel like once we get everybody back, except for Blake, obviously, then we will make the playoffs. But it's just about how bad they want to do it, and it's about how we coach, and it's about playing together. I love to see Sekou shining. I want him to continue to get more minutes. Like I said, I don't care what number Sekou puts up. I don't care about his numbers at all. I just want him to get his feet wet. And it's glad to see the rookie do his thing, man.
Absolutely. Appreciate you rocking with us tonight, JMO. For
Wait,
everybody.
hold on.
I was gonna let it go. Oh,
No.
almost got it all. All right. Just gonna sit back and let you go with this.
Free smoke.
He said if Luke is traded, you're done and don't worry.
This was waiting for.
First of all, come on, man. If Luke is traded, I'm gonna still be here with the Pistons. It depends on what the trade is, because I'm actually a basketball mind. I don't think emotionally. Yeah, I love Luke Kennard. Yeah, I like him. He's a nice player, but it depends on what the trade package is. Now we trade him for something stupid. That's cool. He said Luke is getting trade bait, minutes and shots, low key. Well, let me tell you something. Trade bait is only for good players, man. OKC wanted Luke Kennard. Memphis wanted Luke Kennard. It is what it is. You can keep hating on Luke Kennard all you want, but when he's an all-star who's going to be looking stupid, when he's traded to another team and he contributes, who's going to be looking stupid, man? Y'all just got to stop with the hate and just learn the game of basketball. It's very simple. Watch the game. I love all the people who hate Luke because y'all just make it entertaining. Y'all make it fun. I know y'all wrong. But hey, Drew, man, he thought he was going to get away with it. Nah, man, Free Smoke Saturday, man.
He almost did. But with that out the way, Free Smoke Saturday, hashtag get it trending. Stay tuned, okay? Because when and if this Andre Drummond trade happens, there will be a emergency above the rim. We'll try to get everyone together to talk about it when it happens. But when it is short notice, like it'll probably happen on like Tuesday at like 11 a.m. when everyone's at work or something. But when that trade does break, if and when it does, there will be an emergency above the rim. And with our luck, it'll probably be during the round table or something. But we'll get that going for you. Be sure to check everyone's links in the description. All the DSA members are in there. Don't want to miss any of those guys out. You can follow Pistons World on Twitter. That is his Twitter handle. You can subscribe to Bravo on YouTube. His link is not in the description. I should probably put it in there for you guys. But go ahead and subscribe to him. And then you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. My Twitter and Instagram handles are there in the description as well. So be sure to check all that, guys. A lot of good stuff today. A lot of good topics. And even if you don't like Luke Kennard or Sekou or in JMO's case, Lonzo Ball, I appreciate all you guys rocking with us in the chat and staying tuned for the host show. It was a good one from top to bottom. Hopefully, we have a lot more stuff to talk about next week, but stay tuned. Saturday, 1 p.m. That's the new date and time for Above the Rim. It seems to be working out for everybody, for you guys watching and everyone on the panel. But the Pistons, they just got to make a decision, man. Which way are they going to go? Are they going to do this rebuild thing, or are they going to stay competitive and try to make the playoffs? And maybe trading Andre Drummond, depending on what you can get in return, you can do both because the East is really, 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 really bad. So even though we have a piss-poor record, we're only a few games out of the playoffs. So hopefully you get some young talent and draft picks for the trades that you do. But with that being said, I appreciate you guys rocking with us. We'll see you next week. Have a good day. Enjoy the playoffs. Peace.